Sure.
So that'll work fine. I'm playing a sorcerer, so it's a pain in my dick.
Yeah, I figured I'd go something different from what I would normally do in any sort of RPG or whatever. I'm always going a mage kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not sorcerer specifically, like a mage. I suppose it is in the same vein, more or less.
That's why
Different
when I was
spells.
a young, stupid child and made my online handle, I went propane because I always made a fire mage.
Oh, right. Is that where propane comes from?
Yeah.
And when did you adapt the Milo part? Is that when you started drinking Milo?
No, King of the Hill was super popular, so propane was starting to be taken everywhere. And I just happened to be drinking a thing of Milo while I was trying to make a name on. God, I don't even know what game it was, but
Well, it's certainly more creative than chicken curry don. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but chicken curry don is also pretty much never taken, right?
Yes. So that I'll have to admit that it is quite nice not having to worry about my name being taken. Yeah.
I did prefer chicken curry don to Salazar though.
Yeah, that was a shit one, wasn't it? I don't know what I was thinking. I was kind of obsessed with that villain out of that edition of Pirates.
Just such an edgelord name.
Pirates. We're not talking
so
about Salazar Slytherin?
No, Captain Salazar, Javier Bardem's character out of, I think it was the second or third Pirates of the Caribbean film.
Javier Bardem was in Pirates?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck?
Yeah, you're welcome. He plays Captain Salazar, the undead pirate captain.
Oh.
Armando Salazar, that's the one.
Man, he was so good in June.
He's good in everything he plays in. No Country for Old Men is one of my favorite movies.
He was legitimately shit in the Bond movie. Spectre?
I didn't mind him. It wasn't one of his best films, but yeah, I can see why people would critique him harshly. He certainly didn't play as well a role as any other of his films.
I really don't think the problem was him. I think the problem was everything else about that movie.
Yeah, probably. I'm a little bit biased because I like the Daniel Craig Bond films a little bit more than the others. Perhaps not as much as the Pierce Brosnan ones, but yeah, there were some shit ones out of the Daniel Craig films. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, Javier Bardem goes hard. Love the bloke. No Country for Old Men is still one of my favorite films.
So good. You
Just
know what's
looking at
unfortunate?
him makes me stress in that film.
Imagine if Javier Bardem was like Hannibal Lecter in something.
Oh, I reckon he'd pull it off, don't you reckon? He sort of does that in a way in No Country for Old Men.
Want to know a scary fact, Dean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to make a guess first. How many years has Daniel Craig been James Bond?
13.
Dean, have a guess?
How many years or how many films has he started?
How many years? How many years? What was the first film? Like, how many years since the first film he was James Bond?
Well, when did Casino Royale come out?
I think the point is you don't look it up.
Yeah, don't look it up.
I'm not looking it up. I don't know how to guess that. It's been a long time. I'm with Nick. It's upwards of 10 years at least.
Is upwards of 10 your guess?
Yeah.
Okay, nice definite number in there. And John went with 17. Adrian, you want to have a crack?
Speaking of the crack, 15. How are we, boys?
And how about yourself, Scooter? How many years has Daniel Craig been James Bond?
He has been James Bond for 17 years.
Wow,
yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Casino Royale came out in 2006.
Fuck, what the fuck? Did it actually?
Yep.
Oh, God, I thought I was over by about 5 years.
No, I thought you were so confident. I was like, oh, you know this one already.
Is he interested in Bond somehow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was technically 16, but I mean, I'll give it to you. Adrian, John, and Scott were all within a year, so.
Wow.
I guess 13?
Mm-hmm.
2006?
Yes, my dude. 16 years.
Fuck, that's nuts. Oh, shit.
All right then. I also have a new desk set up, so I'm hoping that me being on speaker still doesn't echo into my own mic. Does let me know.
Not yet.
Perfect. Oh, let me see. Who do we have? John here.
Yep.
Perfect. 9 out of 10, he reckons.
You need 10 for fucking the summon the. Yeah. Anyway.
I think to get 10 out of 10, it's about $15,000.
Yeah. We're talking Diablo Immortal numbers now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Jackal exists as a character.
Jackal.
Before that happens, do you know how to trigger the level up there, Dern?
No, I'm still looking actually.
So under the cog, so on the character sheet, the cog menu next to core bio and spells, if you click on that down the bottom, there'll be an option to level up with Charactermancer.
It's called Launch Level plus Charactermancer.
Got
it. We are level 3.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
And you managed to get your ability scores settled?
I did. Yeah, I did. I did manually update them as per one of those combinations.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fine?
Yep. So the combinations I sent you is the point buy. As part of your race, since Tasha's came out like a year ago, you can add +2 to one of those stats and +1 to another. That would normally be auto-calculated, but if not, you still have a +2 and a +1 to add to two of those stats. Well,
I added the +2 to one and +1 to another already. So that's
perfect. You're good.
Yeah, cool. What is a primal path?
That's a subclass.
It is a subclass of okay.
So it's a permanent choice. What kind of barbarian do you want to be?
Oh no, sorry. I already looked into this. Yes, to answer. Correction, Jordo. I did look into it. I completely forgot. I was looking at Path of the Berserker as a subclass
that's a good
because it
standard.
features frenzy. Yeah.
Now, just to give you context, so we don't have any unfortunate incidents with the Berserker. When you enter a rage, you get to do all this cool shit, but when the rage expires, you get a level of exhaustion.
Oh, yeah.
Getting rid
one
of
level of
exhaustion
exhaustion
is a little tricky. Every time you do a long rest, you remove 1 level of exhaustion. The tiers of exhaustion go up to 6, and the penalty of the 6th layer of exhaustion, you die.
Okay.
Berserker is like legitimately a great choice. Just if you go nuts with it, you die.
Is it dead, or can we revive him through normal means?
We can revive him through normal means.
Okay.
But that's an expensive thing to constantly go through, and
exhaustion. Berserker's dead again.
Oh god! So I've got some problems with my gums. So sudden onslaughts of pain have riddled me the past couple of days, and fun.
Oh no!
By past couple of days, I mean the past 24 hours. When I thought I just had something smaller, but I need to go see a dentist soon. So level 1 of exhaustion is disadvantage on ability checks. Level 2 is your movement speed is halved. Level 3 is disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. Level 4 is your hit point maximum is halved. Level 5 is your speed is reduced to 0. Level 6 is death.
Okay.
I like that one. The whole, fact that like you can't move, but if you're going to keep fucking exhausting yourself, you're just going to
fucking yeet yourself.
I'm so angry about this whole situation. I just want to die. Put me out of my fucking misery. Oh, dead. All right.
Oh, hey, here you go. Also, being raised from the dead reduces a creature's exhaustion level by 1.
Oh, that death was quite refreshing.
So dying and being resurrected doesn't reset exhaustion to 0.
Fair.
You would start that at 5.
Honestly, I'm surprised. Like, dying and being resurrected doesn't add exhaustion, but sure.
Something. It's taxing to your soul.
It depends how you're resurrected. So there is many cheap resurrections that are not as, let's say, simple as you're alive again. I think Raise the Dead is probably an example of that, if I'm remembering correctly, where it takes about a week to get back to your normal self. So not everything is good.
Alternatively, you could wait a week and blow with Nick's whistle.
Yeah.
And bards, clerics, and druid have access to a 5th level spell, Greater Restoration, that can, for a 5th level spell slot, reduce that exhaustion level by 1.
Oh, does Lesser Restoration not do that?
No, I thought so too, because Lesser Restoration you get pretty early, and the impact of exhaustion from being a berserker also quite early.
I feel like
yeah. I will take it into consideration how other ways we can do it and just have a look around. But for now, first couple of sessions, we're probably not going to accidentally kill Dean with
I don't think
exhaustion.
he's got enough rage points to even do that.
Depends how many days we go through in game time. But if last session's any guidance, I think we spent 6 hours on 3 minutes of combat. All right. So I think everyone's online. Everyone's good to go. Everything is looking quite good. All right. So I see that everyone is becoming quite familiar with the drawing tool and getting a bit of enjoyment out of our Curse of Cock campaign. I am appreciative of Nick there. I see you slowly filling in the sea to be red, pixel by pixel.
Well, that is not me.
Oh. Someone else then. Someone worked out how to change their color. They're impersonating the person who got assigned red. Okay. So in our last session, or even a bit longer than just the last session, as the last session came to a close, the first arc of our story, as the party ventured deep underground into a underground fortress that had been inhabited by kobolds and goblins who found themselves in a territory war. The party was able to help the kobolds repel the goblin incursion, rescue their, for lack of a better phrasing, deity in the form of a young white dragon or a wormling white dragon. And they were able to venture further still underground and find a druid that was maintaining and tending to a evil black obsidian looking tree with one foul swoop from our paladin spending his divine smite in the process was able to cleave open this tree, cutting it down. The party found that the root systems of the tree itself let out a ghostly howl of pain and relief and opened a large chasm underneath where it became obvious that the root network of the tree extended much further than this one point, but the path forward was covered in a thick mist that the party was concerned about their safety through and had returned back to Oakhurst, the nearby town, to regroup with their representation or representative from the Merchants of Iron, gather themselves, take a rest, tend to any needs that they had around town, and got themselves up to level 3. The morning preceding the how do I put it? The night stay in Oakhurst, the party rejoins with the person from the Merchants of Iron who had been helping with the transport, helping fund the resurrections from the fallen party members earlier, having breakfast with a half-orc individual. Dean, would you be able to describe what your character looks like to the group?
Dean,
I'm
I'm
not
not
sure
sure.
he
You're
lied.
Did I mute myself to then start describing my character? I think I did, didn't I?
I
think
think
so.
that's
Sounds like it,
that's
yeah.
what happens.
So yeah, basically he is a half orc, as stated in the character sheet. He has grey skin, brown hair, brown eyes also. A craggy exterior, so he's got pretty thick leathery skin. From the way I'd envision he would look like. He wears a leather tunic, chaps as well. He has what's called a tulwar, which is like similar to a scimitar. Very thin, long blade, only a slight curve on the end. He has something similar to a light crossbow as well, hence why I selected that as his weapon. It is known as a thrum. As for any other features, there's nothing really distinctive about him. I think I've listed him there as 6'2", and 19 years of age.
So quite a tall boy.
He is a tall boy, yeah.
So
Also closed the game down by accident. I'm trying to get back in.
notice that. I might just quickly see if I've got some strong painkillers nearby.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. And I think at this point, the other individual who is from the Merchants of Iron that our dear friend Dean is playing, kind of waves the party over, wanting to introduce the party to his compatriot, Jackal. So in this moment, the unnamed person to the party from Merchants of Iron is introducing the party to Jackal and kind of say, "Hey guys, want to introduce you quickly. This is my friend here, Jackal from the Merchants of Iron as well. He's currently on his way on a separate expedition, and is just looking for some fellow from the Merchant of Iron who are looking to earn a bit more coin." As
Greetings.
the party silently stares at this interaction.
Talkative lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, great. You guys can go help him with that, and I'll be on my way. It's been a whole thing, guys. I'd say it was enjoyable, but it's not. I'll be taking the corpse of old face fuckface McGee Druid and fucking off then. Toodles. And I start to try and take the sack, the bag of holding, which still has the corpse of Brelak, and wander off after the Merchants of Iron guy.
So the Merchants of Iron guy is at the table with Jackal at the moment. They're enjoying their breakfast.
All right. Well, then I take it off to his carriage, intending to load it up.
Can't you just dump it on the ground here?
Oh no, I've got to take this back to my chapter so they can figure out what the fuck's going on with the tree and the whole root system. But anyway, you guys don't need to deal with that. That's fine. That's for me and my chapter to deal with. You can go fuck off with some I don't know, whatever, helping old ladies cross the road or whatever it is that the Merchant of Iron usually does.
I mean, yeah, sure, they might help little old ladies cross the road for 13 gold.
Right, I'm back. The strongest I could find was Panadol and Scotch. So let's hope for the best.
Oh, God, that's... Okay, you're free to make a bad idea.
Why? I'm concerned now.
Because you're an adult and you can make decisions.
Oh, okay.
In case nobody's ever told you, Panadol and Scotch together would be a bad idea.
No, no one has ever told me that. Why is it a bad idea?
Unironically, don't mix paracetamol and alcohol because they rebound off each other, making both the alcohol and the paracetamol have a strong effect, because I think your liver needs to process both of them.
It's not like they now work better. It's your liver is struggling and you will cause long-term damage.
I mean, if you're taking 1 or 2 Panadol and having 1 or 2 glasses of Scotch, you're not going to, it's not going to be like instant death, but in general, it's unhealthy. And I'm no doctor, but generally to be avoided, shall we say.
Sure. I will not take any more Panadol today, and I shouldn't have any issues.
Sure.
All right. Well, Jackal, let me explain the situation so far. So, old mate hoity-toity paladin over there was sent on a mission to go find the family of the rich noble of the area. We have succeeded gloriously, and now we are back in town. We have claimed our reward, and now the merchants of iron are assigning you to our little squad. And you're a half orc, right, then?
That's correct. Yeah.
Jackal, what would you say you do here?
In what specifically?
Oh, just summarize what you bring to the party.
Well, hopefully leadership and respect. Jackal is deeply entrenched in his clan of 7 members. I really should have written a more detailed bio on my character.
We don't even have access to read it. Scott does.
All the more reason why I should have written it out. Yeah, well, probably should have been more prepared. Sorry, gents.
Totally fine, dude. Most of the bio on your character sheet is just so you can reference it later. Little consistency.
Oh, these are new text fields. All right, okay. So I can't read all the other characters' bios?
No.
It is correct. It has to come out through conversation, I guess, for lack of a better term. Could even use discourse in the same capacity.
So our next plan was we're in the town, which is bumfuck nowhere village, and we were going to go to Leon's cloister, holy order, don't know what to call it, and present the corpse of the druid and be like, yo, the tree's fucked.
So I guess from a geographical stance, just to kind of give some people some context of where we are, Oakhurst is located in Farron, which is it pronounced Farron, Nick?
Faerun.
Faerun. That actually sounds so much better, but I don't get how to read the language. Faerun is kind of the area in the world that we are entrenched in. Oakhurst itself is a part of some mountain ranges to the northeast of Neverwinter, and it is on the other side of the Neverwinter woods. So, in a sense, or in a lot of sense, it is just fuck nowhere townships all through this area. There's a lot of smaller townships like the one you're in that would house at most maybe 100 people. But Oakhurst is right off the main caravanning routes. So there's a lot of merchant travel that comes through to collect from the nearby farmlands and other manufacturing and production there that kind of exists away from the coast and more inland. The way in which you kind of get to the various larger cities within Faerun is either you kind of go up way north and across to the coast to Luskan, or south through to Waterdeep, and then either go up or down through to where are we?
Wait, does that
Neverwinter.
put us? Yeah, okay. Now I know where we are.
If I can work out how to do this quickly without putting in too much effort. I'm just quickly trying to drop the map into a shareable space in Roll20, but it's becoming too hard, so I'm just going to drop it into Discord. That is the approximate area that we're currently located in the overworld. The conversation within between Jackal and the bloke from Merchants of Iron is heading up east of here towards kind of in between the mountain range and the forest to like that's where he's headed. The destination or the area in which Leon is describing where his church is kind of over in Neverwinter itself, the city. So it is a couple of days' journey to be able to get there.
Okay. Is there a pathway through that forest, the Neverwinter Wood, or do we need to go north or south to follow the road?
So you would go north or south if you wanted it to be, let's say, more safe. There'd be like highwaymen, roadmen who might interact with you on those trails, but there are also trails that are regularly, I wouldn't say policed as much as there's enough merchants that travel with a guard that activity along the major roads is lesser. There is quicker ways through Neverwinter Woods, but Neverwinter Woods is a very dangerous place to which most would not want to venture.
Sure.
How did we get to where we are from Neverwinter the first time we took the road?
Yeah, so it would have been up Northway and around.
Is that 2 days?
I would have said about 4 days travel.
Okay, so 2 days through the forest, 4 days around.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Too many messages back and forth with people. I'm just trying to find the other reference point. Actually, the correction to that version that I sent is that Oakhurst is in the ranges near Mongol Mound, not to the southern section. So it's still a bit more north. There's less traveled roads that kind of go over the mountain, but the main roads is where most of the travel occurred.
Yeah.
That more helpful, Scott.
Yeah. So this is something that I was going back and forth with Jordo, because the red mark is where we are, and the purple mark is one of the where the explicit part of Jordo's backstory would have had a greater presence.
Yeah, I'm fine to talk about that if it ever comes up. It's really not secret information, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just someone's going to ask, what's the purple mark then? And I wanted to get ahead of it and have it with the least detail to...
Yep. If you ask me normal pleasantries in character, I'm sure I'll tell you.
I was AFK. What's the purple one?
It is where I buried all the corpses.
Oh.
Of all the white dragonkin I kill, I'm a serial killer. Oh, I shouldn't be telling you this. Sorry. So I'm done loading all my shit into the wagon at this point, and I come back in, and I'll go up to the Merchants of Iron Caravaneer guy and go, come on, time's wasting, let's go back to Neverwinter.
Oh, yeah, we can go. Let me finish my breakfast first.
No time. Let's grab and go. Come on.
He stares at you for a moment and goes back to his meal, engaging with Jackal. So how have you been, Jackal? It's been a long time.
Too bad, just out riding with the sworn brotherhood of half-orcs.
Very interesting. Any reason you were looking for the extra coin? Commonly, you mainly do it for the thrill of the hunt, from what I hear.
No reason per se, just out on an expedition, patrolling the outskirts of our clan's village.
Okay. He just kind of looks to the party and it's like, is there anything you want to ask? Any interest in helping out Jackal here in his expedition?
You assigned him to us.
We get contracts, we do the contracts, we get paid. If you're ready for the next contract, this is it. Get on.
I don't believe we are ready for the next contract. We've got to tie off some loose ends from this one.
Oh, was I not clear? This is where we part ways, friends. You can go help this orc with whatever it is he's doing, and I'll go do the important business.
Very well. Goodbye, Leon. Scott, can you delete Leon from the campaign?
All right. See you guys.
Perfect. Handled.
I think splitting the party was going to happen later on there, Jordo, when you had to leave at 5, 6. You mentioned
like 5:30ish.
Yeah, I was pretty close. I
mean,
right.
This is not an unresolvable issue.
Mm-hmm. What is the wagon driver's name? Did we ever even ask?
No.
Representative from the Merchants of Iron. I came in late. What my friends here are completely lacking in social graces. What, may I inquire, is your name?
There's a look of frustration, almost a bit of sadness. Marco,
Polo.
That was inevitable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Marco. This isn't the first time we're talking either.
I assumed pleasantries had been done. Marco. What is the next mission, Marco?
Oh, okay. I thought they had. Okay. Sorry, Garam, what was it? Or Gasm?
Who told you my name? I didn't.
He's literally paying you for work.
Do you know the name of every girl you've paid for? I shouldn't be presumptuous. Every person you've paid for work.
I
Yeah.
do not. So what is our next mission?
So Jackal here comes bearing a letter from someone in a nearby township.
And the half-orc needs someone to read the letter to him?
No. Being a half-orc, he is fluent in human tongue as well as Orcish.
Impressive.
Shrock finally has someone to talk to.
Shrock is also a full orc.
Mm-hmm.
So not even also.
Very chatty.
Yeah.
And I think obviously we don't have the character sheets open for everyone to look at each other's. So I think, Garam, do you want to start with just kind of describing what you look like?
Yeah, sure. So I am a male tiefling. Do you know what a tiefling is?
No.
Basically, somewhere along the line, my family had some sort of dealings with a devil or a demon, and that has tainted the bloodline, and so I look a little bit demonic. Are you able to take our pictures, Scott, and show them as handouts?
Let me. Did that work?
No.
No.
Then no.
Perfect. There we go. I'll just post it to Discord. Eyes are kind of glazed over with a little bit of whiteness, but it doesn't seem to affect my vision. There are two horns protruding out of my head, and my skin is I could only really describe it as like a tan red.
I'll say salmon pink.
Sure.
Are you trying to say more so that you've got a lot of like color development from being outside? Like your foundational skin color is that kind of red, salmon pink, but then you've spent a lot of time in the sun?
No.
Oh, okay. You're just naturally.
I was just simply describing it. I would like, yeah.
Sure.
And I'm wearing kind of a cloth outfit, and I'm carrying various implements that you would associate with a spellcaster.
And the other person who has been quite vocal in the conversation so far, Leon, do you want to just describe your appearance?
Yeah, easy. I am a half elf, but I have grown out my hair and try to keep stubble on my face to try and disguise my appearance as a human. So you might not be able to tell unless you're very perceptive that I am actually a half elf, as I deliberately hide that. Just kind of blonde, shoulder length hair and muscular build. Somebody who's spent a lifetime doing physical work, and tan skin, as tan as an elf can or a half elf can get. Has been outside a lot. Currently wearing chainmail armor, and I sport a great sword with me. That's about it.
Okay. Marco just kind of takes a moment, puts down his breakfast beer, looks at Leon and says, "All right, you want to transfer that body back to where is it going?"
Where you picked me up from Neverwinter.
Where in Neverwinter?
Across the river to the north of the Hall of Justice. It's where you picked me up. It was like, what, a week ago?
Yeah, I just drive the cart. I just go where they tell me to go. All right. The body isn't that big. Do you want me to drop it to someone? Do you want, like, does it just need to be delivered somewhere? Like, what is this body?
It's the body of the dipshit that caused all of the issues in Sunless Citadel. We don't know the name of it. Take back. It's the body of the guy that was causing all of the stuff down in the cave, all of the issues down there. We meant to keep him alive to interrogate, but accidents happened. I need to take it back to my chapter where they have a ritual they can use to commune with his spirit, and they'll be able to get more useful information out of him about what was going on down there. I suppose I can leave it with you if you'll be taking the safe route on the roads.
Yeah, I'll be back in Neverwinter within the week.
So, did we get attacked at all on our way here on the road from Neverwinter?
So on the road through to Neverwinter, the travel that was done was mostly by day, stopping over at small villages or large townships, or I think realistically there was probably a full day spent at Luskan as well on the journey. The activity of a lot of hostility doesn't really happen much during the day when, areas of peacefulness and that. Most activities are at the night. There might have been a few situations where there could have been like a trap where someone's, broken down their cart, but, Marco's there to drive the cart. He just makes sure they get to the destination, doesn't give a shit about anything else that happens around him. It was relatively safe. He took the safest route he could.
Okay. So I would probably feel like he would be safe to take the corpse. Like, I'm not going to be like, this fucking bandits everywhere, he's going to be killed. Like, I'd be like, he'll be fine.
He seems like he would have been more capable than anyone else in the party of carrying out what occurred, but he is not about that life anymore. He gets paid to move people around and he's comfortable as he's gone. Like, you look at Marco and he's got like absolutely fucking jacked arms. You can kind of see like huge protruding shoulder muscles and a massive stomach. Like, this guy has been living luxuriously, like, not in the sense that he is in a luxurious environment, but anytime he stops in a town, he does not have to worry about how much he spends on food or anything else and just enjoys being out, going about business, and just drinking a lot.
Crack a VB at 4:20 in the morning.
Fucking long neck VB. So yeah, he looks definitely capable, and you sense that even if bandits were to pull him up and try and rob him, they're probably not going to try and rob the dead body.
Sure. I did figure they're not going to steal the corpse, but they may just, kill him, take his shit, take his wagon, ditch the corpse kind of thing if it was a rough area. But if, sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure you would be able to confidently entice Marco to take this initiative as, the Church of Tyre would likely pay for the service of delivery. So if he's going there anyway and he can get paid for it, that is definitely an option. And you also have the opportunity to, write a letter or something to the church to validate the same, or explain the situation however you want. I'm fairly sure you would have pen and paper somewhere in your backpack.
Yep. No worries. All right. Well, I'll do that then, and just say to Marco, yep. All right. Well, if you can take this corpse and here, I'll write you down a note what to say. I'm sure they'll pay you well, as our establishment always does dealings with yours, so this will be fine. I'll just quickly write something down and then tuck it in. I guess I'll just give it to him.
Yep. And Jackal or Dean, it's your preference. You have the letter there, which is detailing, your expedition. Whether you want to read that out, or if I think I've got an asset here that I can literally flash on screen, if it's easier.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. Sure. So I'll step in and just say, Jackal kind of runs through a letter that the merchants received and is kind of the whole idea of what's generated this. So that should pop up on everyone's screen. I don't think anyone's streaming today, so I can't validate most of those buttons.
Hail to
Yes,
thee.
it's worked.
Yeah, that's worked.
Perfect. So, hail to thee of might and valor. I, a lowly servant of Barovia, send honor to thee. We plead for thy so desperately needed assistance. The love of my life, Irina Polyana, has been afflicted by an evil so deadly that even the good people of our village cannot protect her. She languishes from her wound and would have her, and I would have her saved from this menace. There is much wealth in this community. I offer all that need be had to thee and thy fellows, if thou shalt but answer my desperate plea. Come quickly, for her time is at hand. All that I have shall be thine. Kolyan Indrovich, Burgomaster.
Burgomaster, huh?
It's like a mayor, right?
Yes. So a burgomaster is the mayor of larger townships. In current days, there is much more a transition across to the actual language of mayors, fiefdoms, and that sort of structure across Faerun. However, burgomaster was the common language used, probably before most people's lifetime, and it's only really old families and old wealth that would still refer to themselves as burgomasters, as even I'm trying to remember my medieval structures. The baron, I can't remember if it's baron or a higher title, would instruct them to be like their townships under their domain to be handled by a burgomaster. That transition more so to with mayor, with more modern and progressive cities that are occurring.
Do we know where this place is? Barovia?
So
Or is Barovia a person?
Barovia is a township. It is not referenced on a lot of modern maps, but the Merchants of Iron have provided a map that is definitely a bit older, that does showcase its location, and it's probably a day's journey from where Oakhurst is out to the east. The actual route detailed on the map would be about 2 to 3 days, but since this map's storage, there has actually been new roads that we're aware of that connect through to some of the nearby sections.
You there, caravan driver. What's this about an evil? Do you know anything about what evil?
I'll lean into Leon and say, his name is Marcus.
Yes, go. Marcus, what's this evil? How did you get this letter?
Yeah, Jackal was the one who brought it in. Evil's evil. It's the gold, right? That's why we're here.
Jackal brought it. So this is not a Merchant of Iron contract.
Jackal is helping the Merchants of Iron. He's got his own caravan. He's come into town. He was seeing if this party would want to join him or not before he ventures forward.
And you're Jackal, correct? And I'll look at the half-orc.
That's correct. I'm Jackal.
Well met. Extend my arm to handshake.
Likewise.
Do you take the handshake?
Also extends his hand to meet his hand and shakes it.
Nice. How did you come across this letter? How did this come into your possession? Who delivered it? Who did they say anything?
Well, I woke up after a rough night at the tavern. As I was leaving, I found it in my bag. It seemingly someone had slipped it in there.
Were you staying in a bed or just?
Well, it was really a rack of wire. Pretty poorly
Alright.
made, might I add.
All right, I see. Okay, that's very odd. And were you talking to anyone the night before that might have given you the vibe that they were the person who would then slip this note into your bag?
No, not at all. I kept to myself. Drank 3 or 4 casks of wine and then passed out.
I see. How odd. Why were you picked? Were you the only one in the what town was this in?
To be quite honest, I don't even know. I breezed through, saw the tavern sign and popped in for some wine.
After 3 or 4 casks, I wouldn't remember either.
Severe case of blackout.
That's not normally how jobs and pleas for help are done. They're normally more personable and impassioned than a random note slipped into a...
My thoughts exactly.
Have I heard of Barovia before, Mr. DM? Have I heard of Kolyan Indirovich? Have I any inclination that this is a place that does exist and this is not a scam?
Okay, so let me just quickly open up your character sheet to check. So let's see. You are not proficient in history. You have a -1 to intelligence, and I don't believe you maintain a cartographer's kit, so you've got no interest in mapping. No, I don't think that you've taken much interest in the past. Foundationally in the geography of the world to an extent where you would be interested in any township that did not host the Church of Tyre at the least.
Okay.
Oakhurst likely was the first time you had ever heard of Oakhurst was when you were coming on this mission.
Yep, that's fair. Would I have any insight into the note, seeming like more of a scam to lure our friend half-orc here into trouble as opposed to being a legitimate note for help?
Fair question. Where is it with respect to where we are now? It's not even on the overworld map that you've dropped in.
Correct. So I don't literally have a map that details every township within Faerun.
Sure.
Even where we currently are in Oakhurst is not in every published version of this Faerun map. And the version in which Oakhurst is explicitly shown is so small and zoomed in that it doesn't give any context to the world. So
Out there, I assume.
Is it potentially somewhere we can mark ourselves, if that's the case, in an unmarked area in between, say, let's say, for example, north of Long Saddle?
So where Gorgo's put in, where you've got the mountain ranges and the forest, that sort of valley through there is where the map that you can see that is more dated is coming from.
Right.
Yeah. So, yep, you are 100% right. You don't remember the interaction or how you actually got into the possession of these, but you have that old map, you have that note, and you have worked with the Merchants of Iron before, which is why you're engaging with them again to carry out this, and they take their normal cut as they like to do.
So basically where I'm coming from is this note smells like a trap to me. leave a little note on somebody, pass out in the tavern that riches will be theirs if they come to this far out of the way place, and then ambush them. Get them out of town and sack them. Is basically the gist I'm personally getting from the note.
Be the wretched centaurs, mate. You never know.
And Marco, you mentioned before,
Mm-hmm.
are they evil? Who cares? It's about the gold. Where here is the gold?
So, Burgomaster, Barovia, I'd probably say after the merchants take their cut, you're probably looking at valuation of 4,000 to 6,000.
A complete speculation with no approved verbal contract.
And he just grabs the mug as he was just about to take another swig of his breakfast beer, puts it down, looks around. Anyone got paper, pen?
I'll hand him one and my pen,
Okay.
as I'm just done writing him the note to take to Neverwinter.
Are we all in? No one speaks up, and he says,
Right first, then we'll decide.
I'm not sure what we're in for. That's
why I want him to write first, and then we'll decide. Because if he's saying there's a couple thousand gold on the line, but no proof, I want him to underwrite those thousands of gold.
Fair. Marco, as a representative of Merchants of Iron, guarantee each member of this party 750 gold pieces for the successful retrieval of, pauses for a moment, takes the note off Jackal, Irina Kolyana, to myself, and then he signs it. And he hands this contract, which looks to be just as valid as the earlier contract you entered into.
All right, I will pick up the note and I will share a look with Leon that says we need to hire as many minions as we can hire before we come back to this person, because he didn't put an upper limit on how many party members we could have.
And you say all this in a look.
Yes. It's a very impressive look.
Okay.
I look at you and just look away.
Yeah, you know it, you dirty whore.
Why is he staring at me and wiggling his eyebrows? Does he have a thing for me? Is that... Oh, God.
All right. I think the conversation has been fairly heavily driven by Leon Garam and Jackal at this point. I'll start with Shrock. What are you currently doing as the conversation goes on?
I saw people eating breakfast, so I just ordered some for myself.
Yep. You're sitting down to a very hearty meal.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of the newfound riches from the completion of that contract. And then do you want to just kind of describe what you look like?
Oh, for Jackal? Yeah, okay. So Shrock is a full orc. He's 6'9", pretty tall. He's a bard. He's got instruments strapped around his backpack, but some of the instruments are, how do I put this, not there, but when he needs it, it springs to life.
Jackal's instrument feels a tingle.
And Dean,
Yeah, that's it.
they're all brass instruments. If every instrument ever is either like a horn or drums. There is nothing subtle about this man's music.
We are the Woodhead Instrument Clan.
I have to jump in because I know two items that he has. The first is he has a pan flute, which would be, I guess, wooden. But the second is full-blown bagpipes, which, if we're brass, I would not understand how they would function.
That's fair.
And
And everyone knows bagpipes are famous for their subtlety.
Exactly.
Yes, but does he have a lute that he can one-hand wield and bash people's skulls in with?
Not
No.
yet.
Have at them, boys.
And then
I have a horn.
lastly, yep, that's fair, and that's, I would say brass makes sense as well. If you want it to be a brass horn, I don't know if you have particular preferences towards its construction.
Well, pleased to be of acquaintance, Jackal exclaims.
Yep. And the other
Likewise.
person in the party, Callison, do you want to just kind of run us through what you've been doing during this conversation and your appearance?
Sure. So yeah, my character is Callison. It's a dragonborn, white-scaled. He's 6'3", 280 pounds. Wears sword, not sword, spear and shield. Although generally tends to cast things as a caster. He's a druid, so yeah. Being quite used to kind of being alone, kind of hermit background. So quite comfortable just chilling out and been sitting on a rock just watching the conversation take place. And yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Just wanted to kind of make sure that everyone had a little bit of representation there. So I'll pass it back. Is there any other things you guys want to discuss? Any?
I would point out that the person who has signed this letter, Kolyan Indirovich, has said he wants help for the love of his life, Irina Kolyana. The surnames don't match. Is that particularly odd in this world? Would people normally be married in this case?
Potentially not, unless she's been married to someone else and taken the name. But there is reason to suspect. I can see where you're coming from, basically.
Given this guy's the burgomaster, I guess mayor, you would expect him to kind of be above board. Is this like a... Would I read this as an adultery situation, or is it just normal that people don't take their surnames in this world?
It doesn't accept him from potentially being corrupt, but yeah, he probably is.
There's the potential
Legit.
that she's 3.
That doesn't exclude the adultery.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if there's something odd about that. The surnames don't match, that a mayor is claiming the love of his life who might not be his wife. Like,
It also could be that the order in which her name has been written is actually her given name is Kolyana, and
Okay.
Irina is some sort of adaptation of a female version of the surname. I don't know, similar to how some Balkan surnames might be Sekulovska and Sekulovsky based on masculine and feminine. The last two or last one letter of the surname changes, so it could very well be legit.
Yep. I think you've nailed on the head one of the things that is definitely prevalent is there's masculine and non-masculine, masculine and feminine last names
Iterations of a surname, yeah.
throughout
Yeah.
the world.
Yep.
So it isn't uncommon to see a married couple share a last name, but that last name be different based upon whether they're a guy or a girl, and that carries forward through to the children. There is a
I see.
betrothed system as well.
Kolyana.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a betrothed thing within the world as well. People don't go from I've never met you to a married state, especially when it comes to those from royal backgrounds. There could be quite a long process to be able to marry 2 households together because it's more than just
There's dealings
the
at hand, basically.
kids
Yeah.
of that interaction. As well as there is some cultures, because Faerun is very diverse. I mean, just look around at the party. Not all cultures
look at it.
necessarily share the same ideals around naming conventions.
Yeah.
Even as you interact with Marco, Marco is Marco. He does not have a last name. He just is Marco.
All right. Yeah, no, I actually missed also the link Kolyan and Kolyana. Very obviously very similar. I just actually straight up missed that. So that's fine.
It's interesting that Irina Koliana is in the handout, a hyperlink.
Yeah, I'm assuming it links to a character sheet or something, right?
Yeah, I was curious to know whether that hyperlink
Does
shows
nothing.
a hyperlink for players.
It shows, but it does nothing if we click it.
Yeah.
If you
Um,
right-click and open a new tab, it says server not found.
This site can't be reached.
It does open to a link that has /character/, so I'm assuming it's character sheet. That's fine.
Yeah, even if it opened, all of the information about the character is in a never visible to players section of all of these handouts. So there's no issue if it did. It's just really irritating that when I buy Curse of Strahd a second time, like the digital edition, that the pre-generated handouts show when things are put in as links for me as the DM to the players.
Yeah.
Because, I have another reference point for both Irina and Collian, but they're in different parts of the book.
Oh,
And for whatever fucking reason, they didn't give me a hyperlink to his details. They've just put him as his name. Legitimately, I have a section in the book that, like, I've read this book a couple of times now, where I can literally just see it.
right.
So I question why they do that, and it's really annoying that when there is handouts, that it also is inclusive of those hyperlink notes, just in the general way in which Wizards of the Coast have built out this kit.
Yay.
Yay! Behind the scenes details that weren't necessary.
Right, so it sounds like we're all in agreement to take up the quest of the letter.
Well, I don't want our orc friend here walking off into the wilderness and getting murdered and robbed by some bandits. And if it turns out to be real, I very much feel honor bound to investigate this evil. So yeah, I'll come with. I mean, I'm doing nothing while I wait for a response from Neverwinter anyway, so I've got about a week to
Are there any
do.
Scott, are there any kind of clergy people in the town?
So there is a church within the township that you're within. It is where you had the resurrections of Callison and
Yes.
Leon carried out.
Okay. I'll go to that church then, and I'll see if I can speak with one of the clergymen and ask if they've got any divine magics that will help preserve a corpse.
Fair.
He looks at the corpse and it's like, how long?
How long has the body been passed, or how long are we maintaining the corpse?
Oh, here. If it's died within the past 24 hours,
Oh yeah,
I
this morning.
can help. If you need it to be preserved longer than a week, I don't think I can.
A week is fine.
A week should be sufficient.
Huh.
And if we do it for a week, can we do it again for another week at the end of the first week? Or is it like a one and done?
Why are we binding the soul to this body? Like, what's the intent here, guys?
Oh no, we don't necessarily care about the soul. We just don't want the body to rot. It needs to be studied by divine orders.
I mean, if you combine the soul, that's also good. He's an evil guy that is responsible for evil things, and I'm sending him to the Church of Tyrion Neverwinters for them to study and possibly do that ritual thing where they talk to him and get secrets out of him after he's already dead. That's all.
You just wish to speak to him?
Oh no, we've already spoken to him before he died, but we didn't get that much out of him. We don't know the right questions to ask. For one thing, he seemed quite crazy, but I'm not very skilled in, interrogation, so I'm wondering if they can get more out of him, or Any
if you want
leads?
to speak to him, it will cost a bit more, but if you just want me to make sure that your order can speak to him,
Yes, that one.
I can bind his soul to his body for a week.
Mhm.
Okay.
That sounds fine.
Sure. And
They
he
will
kind of looks over at the what's the thing at churches where you put money into it?
tithe.
Donation tin. I don't know. Plate.
Yeah.
Donation plate.
Isn't it
Yeah,
tithing?
he kind of looks over at the church donation box.
I'll walk over and put 5 gold in it.
Cool. He nods. He bring the body here. I'll do the necessary and
We reach into our bag and we pull out the
Dump him
corpse.
out of the bag
Oh,
of
God.
holding.
oh,
God, and he must be covered
sure.
in the most egregious wounds. It's like flaps hanging off him.
Oh, sure. And he, he brings him over to. He gets you guys to bring them over to a more ritualistic space near the altar, and he starts going about his business to kind of bind that soul temporarily and make sure that Balak doesn't transition to whatever plane of existence his soul was destined for.
Perfect.
How long does that take?
It takes, I'd probably say 10-15 minutes.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Once that's done, we just like as unceremoniously as we can, just like slide him off the ritual table back into the bag.
Just
I would
sack of
say be
potatoes.
respectful of the dead guys, but this guy, I get it. Just don't let anyone see what you're doing. He goes back to tending to the church, sweeping what already looks like a pretty clean floor.
So we'll go dump his corpse into the back of the carriage, I suppose. And Marcus has a letter which he'll take to them explaining that he's the corpse of a guy that was tending an undead tree, and he spoke of vampires, and there was an underground bit that was full of evil mist and yada yada, all that outlined in the letter. And my recommendation, they should do that thing where they talk to the dead people, which I would have almost certainly encountered at some point.
Yep. Do you call him Marcus?
Yes.
Jodo, that is not his name, by the way.
I know.
His name is
Garam
Marcus.
told me his name is Marcus, and I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, Marcus.
Yes, excellent.
Okay. For fuck's sake, you're only alive because of me, cunt. He takes the letter. You see him like just put it on the table and use it as a coaster for his beer.
That'll stain if you rest your coaster. And I mean, then they may not. Be able to...
Oh! My Majesty! I am so sorry. Let me clean it. And he takes his beer and just kind of pours it over the letter and just rubs it a bit, and then just puts it on the table.
Is that the letter that he signed to us?
No, that's the letter that Leon once delivered to the Church of Taia back in Neverwinter.
All right, I'll write another one.
Oh, okay.
After he's finished writing the second letter, I'll prestidigitation the first one.
Yep. Prestidigitation, pretty much I would say prestidigitation removes the water, but it doesn't undo any of the damage.
Yeah.
It's now a dried ruin note.
The ink is smeared, but it's dried. You've just kind of sped up the entire process of drying out the letter.
It smells like strawberries.
I will write a third letter in a way that Marco does not see, and then I will tuck it into the collar of the corpse, so that in case Marco fucks with me and destroys both of the letters and does not deliver it, when they get the corpse, they will at least find my fucking letter hidden in the collar of the dude's shirt.
That's the correct maneuver, yes. Is there any other business that anyone wants to carry out? Anything that people still need to buy from around town? Otherwise,
I just want to make sure that Jackal has at least 10 days worth of ration supplies. Let's not make that mistake again.
Fair.
Dino, on your character sheet in the core section, down the bottom middle.
Yeah, I was just trying to open it. Sorry, one tick. Yes.
Rations.
Rations is 10.
Lovely.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, the column on the far left or the column on the right?
the left.
The left.
Yes, I have 10.
I would need
Excellent.
to buy some.
We fix that up.
We did that last time. You're supposed to have 10 more than whatever you
Oh
have.
yeah, I did. Okay.
What's the column on the far right represent?
How much-
Wait.
Oh, I see. Okay, sure.
So, the party has already been given a bag of holding where most of the party loot is currently being stored. Just speaking mechanically, so we're all on the same page. As well as any of like the heavier items. For the most part, that bag of holding has a near limitless weight. There is a technical weight limitation, but as long as we're not trying to put anything too heavy in it, I'm probably not going to care too much about it.
I've just realized a bag of holding is probably the most efficient way to transport water anywhere.
I would say, as a DM, I know of many other efficient ways of doing it. But
Audible flood.
I think that any form of magic is a great way of transporting things, and if the material costs of like building out bags of holdings wasn't so expensive, or just raw teleporting resources around wasn't so expensive, it would be much more common. But I think that if we're too efficient over certain things, the economy suffers, and we all know that the economy is what matters most in this world. Let me see. This is all still valid information. So I'll also put this into everyone's journal. So this is just kind of a breakdown of when there is a store that sells adventuring gear. This is kind of what's being described. So there's a description of all like normal everyday items that are commonly sold, and then a price and weight breakdown at the bottom, as well as a breakdown of things like the different equipment packs that you might start with, just to understand what's in them as well. As well as some other useful information. This is all also in like the player's handbook, but I've been running the session so far, or the series so far, in a manner where everyone doesn't have had to have actually done all the pre-reading of understanding fucking everything about this game, because no one ever reads everything except rules lawyers, and I don't like them. So yeah, how would the party like to proceed from here? We have, I think, the party on board for a specific journey ahead of them. The opportunity first. I'm not sure if there's anything else anyone wants to get sorted in town.
I know Jackal's ready to embark on the Arena Kolyana task.
I sure have no money.
Oh, because you paid off your debt.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
I think we have a little bit left in the group funds, but I highly doubt there's a
350 silver and 320 gold.
I think we already established this bumblefuck nowhere town does not have a magic item shop, so I think we're right to go.
Are we able to buy
Oh.
some like a antitoxin or like some vials of acid if we need to eat through a chain or something?
Yes. So both acid and antitoxins would be sold in relatively small volumes, but there is some availability of them. Most of them are like quite dusty because not many people have a need for it. But being so close to the merchant highways, I would say that most items, including antitoxin and acid, would have some aged stock, but still
Sure.
functional.
All right. Well, I'd like to buy 5 of each. That seems reasonable.
Oh, are we gonna have enough gold for that? That shit's gonna be like.
It's listed as
Antitoxins.
adventuring gear, so it's not.
Yep. Antitoxin is 50 gold pieces of vial, and
Oh.
acid is
Yeah.
25 gold pieces of vial.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's more than the funds we have available for one thing.
Okay.
I don't think we should spend all of our money on this.
Definitely not. All right.
Are there potions?
Then I think we're good.
I think we need another rope. We used one, cut it up to tie people, so we should at least buy another rope. 50 foot of rope. How much is that? I assume
Do you
it's.
want it hempen or silk?
What's the normal? Is hempen the normal kind of rope?
Hemp is
Hempen
normal.
is a gold
Silk is
piece per
stronger.
50.
All right, I'll use my personal funds and buy a 50 foot of rope. So we have another one.
How much is the silk rope?
10 gold pieces.
What's the actual difference between the two?
That is a question that, in addition to the earlier questions, I believe was answered in that handout that I just gave everyone.
No difference. Whether made from hemp or silk, has 2 hit points, but can be burst with a DC 17 strength check.
Yep. So do you see the difference between the two? Silk weighs half as much as hemp.
Right.
That sure is the bag of holdings problem.
Mm-hmm.
In my character sheet, I've actually got 5 hempen rope, 10 feet each. We chopped it up.
Yeah, but still better to have a full 50 foot one. So it's fine. I've got another one. That's fine. Assume there's nothing else micromanagey that we need to top up on. Why don't we
Basic potions of healing are 50 gold pieces each, and is something that is regularly stocked.
All right. So I have 0 of my own, and the
Same.
party has 1 in total. So I think those are a good source of spending our gold.
Everyone should have one, I suppose.
One what?
Potion of healing.
Potion of healing.
Okay. So I thought you. Yep.
So does anyone still have their own potion of healing?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I still have one.
So that's 2.
Does Dean start with one?
I don't have a potion of any sort.
So
I have
then
an explorer's pack, though. What does that consist of? Or is that just a bag?
It does have contents in it, and the handout that I just gave everyone would have those details. But I would say, for the purposes of what we're doing, that you would have probably 2 potion of healing.
Awesome. Thank you. I see them just come up now. Lovely.
Yep.
Nice. All right, well then, why don't we spend 100 gold, buy 2, 1 for each, Garam and me.
There's no assigned weight to it, though, Scott. What will it need to be?
It's like 0.1.
Yep. I sure am manually entering in those details.
Oh, yeah.
If
Sure.
you can give me a sec to
worries.
finish. Yeah.
No worries.
There's
like to get
0.5 each.
I'd like to get a couple more just so we've got a buffer in the party loot. There's
Yeah, I mean,
there's 1 in the party loot. I'd like more buffer.
sure.
So
I mean, if we're not going to save anything for any potential magic item shops we're coming along, finding.
Yeah. So we'll spend 200 gold and we'll get 4 potions. 1 for me, 1 for you, 2 for party stash.
Okay, I'll put 1 down.
Were 4 available, Scott? Lovely.
4 are
Alright.
available.
Okay, great.
So there are 3 in party stash, and we all have at least 1.
Okay.
And Dean, just for context, if someone gets stabbed in the heart and they fall down dead, you can just pour a potion of healing down their throat, and they will regain that many hit points, and they won't die. Hooray!
Oh, very good.
The rules dictate that is an action. I overrule that and say it's a bonus action to keep things moving.
Bonus is good.
It is. So it makes potions substantially more powerful, but it also means that people are more likely to actually use their potions because
We can retcon it and say we keep it ready as like an emergency don't die button.
it is a case of like if I'm giving out items, I want them to be used, and an action is, in my opinion, too heavy a cost for a potion.
Yeah, it checks out. Especially because there's gold involved.
Mhm.
So then once we've sorted out the paying of the merchants, I've already fixed up the party loot gold as well. We are ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So the party finishes up what they're doing. They start to journeying forward into um, their, I guess, next step within the context of, I guess, the world. The party is finishing up, bidding their farewells to Marco. Leon gets the stink eye from Marco as he wonders why Marcus is so upset with him.
See you, Marcus. Good journey with you. Good tidings for the future, Marcus.
Jackal had come in on a wagon and is able to host the party thereon. As everyone kind of boards up, much more simpler wagon than what Marco had. There is no covering from the sun. It is a very basic wagon with a very old looking horse that mule, I'd probably say a mule, just slowly brings the party forward to their destination.
I'd like to add that I'm reading my book
Mhm.
during this.
So I believe that there is a number of people who had books to read that are trying to keep track of the same. So I would say that you would have had 2 hours within your long rest to make progress on reading that book, as well as another 8 hours on this journey of idle time if you are not engaging in keeping lookout for possible threats. But I would assume that, I think if I remember, the books are currently with Leon and Callison.
Me, yep.
Yep. Okay. So, Shrock, Garum, Jackal. I would say that you're safely able to take turns piloting this wagon-ish thing. Wagon? What's the correct name for it? I think wagon's meant to be covered. What's an uncovered?
It's a cart. Yeah.
A cart. Perfect. This cart forward, taking turns, just kind of chatting, keeping watch. The day is progressing to late afternoon. The sun is Not setting, but definitely starting to get low into the sky. And in the distance, you can hear a howling and a humanoid scream.
What was that?
It appears, from a general guess, to be happening further down the road from where you are.
Can this cart go any faster? Make these mules go. We have to find out what that is. There's people that are in danger.
Quick question: are we in a fresh day, or are we still on resources from when we finished up in the underground thing?
So you had completed a long rest, and in the
Thank God.
morning you had come downstairs and found
Alright.
Marco and Jackal talking over their breakfast.
Yep, lovely. All right, I will cast a spell on myself. It's just mage armor.
Shoot. So parties venturing forward.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say at great speed.
So as you kind of start to get the mule to run as fast as mules can run, you can kind of see forward from your current position. There is perfect. As the drum beat helps drive the mule forward,
Making
we
the
see
stealth
off
approach.
into. Sorry, what was that?
We're making the stealth approach.
Yes, announcing the party's presence and oncoming arrival. The screams are all but gone, and you do not hear the howl, but you see forward from the party on the road and around the road what appear to be wolves, but big.
What time is this?
I would say that it is late afternoon. The sun continues to be low in the sky, but the sun has not yet started to set.
Right. Can I make a nature check on the wolves?
You may.
Oh, with advantage? 11.
Without advantage?
11.
Okay, perfect. With an 11. You are familiar with direwolves. And you can see that there is both wolves and direwolves probably about 100 feet down the path from your current position if you were to stop the cart.
Ain't no stopping this cart we're on.
Well, are there any bodies on the ground?
There are. The wolves currently seem to be occupied with their newfound meal.
And does the meat appear to be alive?
I would ask for a medicine check, but then pretty motionless outside of whatever the wolves are doing. It looks like another party of something has been traveling ahead of you on this road and has come to a point where wolves have found their way.
How many wolves and how many dire wolves?
Um,
How many small ones and how many big ones?
3 big, 4 small. It does appear that they are blocking the path ahead.
Oh.
And how many corpses or downed individuals?
I would say half dozen, maybe more.
Oh.
I'd probably say now, guys, are you going to continue on the cart? Are you going to stop the cart, get off? How are you going to proceed here?
We said the path is blocked, right?
It appears to be blocked. There is at least one wolf in the center of the pathways, and maybe not. You could steer off the actual road itself and try and rush past them, or you could halt the cart and try and approach on foot.
I'll
Or
tell
you could turn.
Jackal they're they're already dead. Let the wolves eat. Let's keep going.
Can we split them up? Can we split the wolves up somehow? Druid, can you do something?
What would you like me to do?
I don't know. Talk to the
Decoy?
animals or something. Tell them to fuck off. Turn into a fucking wolf and tell them that to fuck off. I don't know. You're the druid. You tell me. Can't you get creative with your own ability set?
No.
And I would probably say
It's
that
useful
both
as ever,
Leon
Callison.
and Callison are busy reading, as Shrock, Garum, and Jackal are probably the ones who notice what's going on ahead.
Didn't you say they like howled? We heard the howling. That I would have put my and the screaming. I would have put my
In the
book down at
distance
that point.
at the time. Probably the screaming, yes.
Oh, screaming! Oh,
Maybe.
this chapter's really good though.
Flicks through character sheet, realizes didn't assign animal handling as a wolf mound character. Oh, fuck. Jackal stares at his feet.
All right. So at this stage, between Jackal, Garum, and Shrock, who do you think is currently piloting or driving this cart?
Oh, definitely Jackal. It's his cart.
Hmm.
Did you get any? Which background did you choose, Dino?
I created a custom one, and I've called it the Grey Bastards Tribe.
It's based off one of the ones from.
It is. It
Thorcott.
is. Yes, it is somewhat linear to the Uthgard tribe member background,
Alright.
which was listed as a common one, but I think wasn't included in the pack that Scott purchased.
Right. Do
Yes.
any of our party members have the soldier background?
Hello.
That includes proficiency with land vehicles, which is
Does it?
this
does.
is
It
this
sure
is a land
does.
vehicle.
Oh, Jordo, you're driving. What happened to your
Climb up in
boat?
the front and push him out the way. And I've got this. And I'll start driving then.
Terrific. So, as you guys kind of follow through the road, you are passing by, and you see off to the right there is a dire wolf that is just eating the remnants of what looks like a maybe a soldier, maybe something else, maybe town's guard or something.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it is Maybelline. Thank you. But directly ahead, you can see that dead center of this road, and this road is barely wide enough to have a cart pass each other. You definitely wouldn't want to do it at speed, but it is almost blocking the actual road itself ahead of you. Off to the left and right, there is some
Was that-
stone on
Was that
the.
the wolf up ahead?
Mhm. There is like kind of stones on the side of the road that really make it difficult to swerve around, but we will try and navigate this cart to kind of swing around this wolf while trying its best to stay on path. It is going to be difficult, but we can definitely try and swerve around it. So can I get I would say vehicle proficiency check? I think that should be a clickable button.
It is, but I need to pick a attribute to use with it for some reason. Can I pick strength?
I'm just trying to think to which I would apply vehicle proficiency to. I would suspect it would be wisdom.
Sure. It's not going to be a good one, fellas, but With advantage?
Not with advantage, unfortunately. So
Oh.
you successfully managed to get around the direwolf, but you are unsuccessful in, let's say, getting back onto the road. So, as you swing the cart itself, you kind of just start going off road, and you kind of find yourself in a position where the cart just kind of gets stuck in the mud.
So do we try to go around the wolf?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I would have just tried to go through it and call its bluff. Damn. All right.
I think we were
Hey,
given the option to choose.
Would you prefer to try and ram the wolf with the cart?
It's up to Leon.
Yeah. Fair. I assumed you were trying to avoid the wolf.
It's a dire wolf in the center of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Against the mule.
Against mules, yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure the dire wolf is going to be larger than the mule. It's not like a car. It's the mule is going to run at it and then like bump it slightly and then get eaten. I do agree that Scott's suggestion of trying to go around it was.
Therefore, we are rendered immobile.
How many mules are pulling the wagon?
One. There is not a lot of pacing behind it.
That's a strong mule. There are a few heavy boys in this party.
That's what mules do.
How close are we to the wolf?
Weights very slowly, and we're running this mule as hard as we can.
That's the fucking the bulldozer fucking scene in fucking Mike Myers.
How close? So, are we around all of the wolves, or are we in the middle of the general pack?
So, as you kind of ran through, and I'll switch to a map in a second. You came racing down the road as fast as a mule can go, which arguably is not that fast. You tried to swerve around a direwolf that was eating the corpse of this man's right on the actual path itself. In doing so, you kind of passed by another direwolf that was off to your right-hand side as you were traveling, and another that was kind of off to the left, but you've had to veer off towards, sort of in between, ending up quite near to that one you saw on the left. And these wolves have become aware of your activities.
Oh yeah,
your appearance, as the mule is trying its best to kind of pull the cart further as you're like whip, faster, as like the wheels have just sunk into the soft dirt and mud that is off that trail.
I climb out of the wagon. Is the how bad is the wagon wheel? Would I assess that there's a chance I could possibly like help the mule pull it? Like if we all got off of the wagon and then quickly tried to pop it out of the mud, does it look like that'll happen, or is it like really firmly set in there? And I'd look at it and go, "There's no chance."
I would say at this stage you are in a wagon.
Yeah,
and you're just realizing that the wagon is currently stuck.
Okay. I'm not allowed to get out.
I am going to say that the party is just kind of feeling this sensation that the wagon, let's call that the wagon, is now stuck in the mud off of the road. I would say that you would have gone kind of like this, swerving out of the way. And the wagon kind of comes to a slow, slushy stop as these wolves kind of turn to you and just realize that this meal might be getting slightly larger than they anticipated. It would be at this moment that I would ask that everyone select their tokens and roll for initiative.
So Dino,
I'm on a black screen currently, gents. It just said establishing server uplink, and now I have a black screen. I can't see any tokens.
Bail and rejoin.
We'll likely need to press a button to enable vision on his token.
I think he also might need to change to be in the bottom right, the as drop down. He may need to select his character as that in order to get vision.
Already selected. I had just forgotten about giving him vision.
Okay.
And I can't remember if half-orcs get access to dark vision. So I'm also checking that on his character sheet.
I think they do.
They do.
What are we rolling for? Sorry.
Initiative. So make sure
you've
you
actually clicked on your picture on the map.
I have done.
Lovely.
You did. Perfect. Oh, no. No. None of that. You'll have to click the turn order drop down thing on the left and edit it to your first roll.
I can also do the same.
Oh dear, why have you kept on clicking?
What?
To try and
Why
work
did it
out.
happen 3 times?
Same thing happened when you did animal handling.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So in your character sheet,
Yes.
in core, where the upper left-hand side saving throws, you've got strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, charisma.
Yes.
And underneath that, there's something called global save modifier.
Yes.
Untick bless.
Done.
Where else is that going to be hiding?
He also has guidance ticked.
Guidance. Right. Also untick guidance.
Where is
So,
guidance? Oh, sorry, a little bit further down. Okay. Unticked.
So there's a couple spells that modify the things that you can roll, or they add additional die to what you're doing.
Yeah, I see that. There's one in the attacks and spell casting section. Should I be unticking that as well?
Yeah, untick that one. They're super handy things, and what Roll20 have done is they've made that even being there an option, and if that option is set to yes, they fill in a couple pre-made things, bless and the other one, and they automatically tick it because they're dickheads.
Right. Okay. Is that going to save if I have to refresh my session?
Yeah, once you click a button, it's saved.
Excellent.
Yep. All sorted.
Yes.
I took a stab at how I would suspect that people were sitting in the cart and driver's seat.
Yeah, that checks out. Leon and Jackal did the swap, so that makes sense.
Yep. And then I just kind of put, I think this makes sense as how the party would be laid out. I don't think anyone's going to find problem with it, but feel free to. If there is no other concerns, then I think the first in the initiative order is Callison.
Being in the wolf corner of the cart, I am concerned, but this is how it do.
Yep. Currently just trying to use the tools to draw a circle, but I don't think I can. Oh, there we are. But how do I move it? Oh, I see. It's one of those. Okay.
Have you installed the extension, by the way?
Extension.
We'll deal with it next time.
Sure. I would like to make a fog cloud kind of covering the party and just the kind of area between the trees mostly.
Yep. How large is a fog cloud?
20-foot radius. So kind of like centered between me and and Leon, and kind of just like at least covering, like don't put the wolves in it, but kind of like that, if that works.
It's close. It's about 1 square too short.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try again.
Which is fine. Give me a sec.
Because I can't actually. Oh, so fucking fidgety.
Is it that large? No, that's not right.
Hang on, you're trying to go for a 20-foot radius?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no like measuring tool.
It do be.
You see my red circle, Scott?
Yeah, the red circle's correct. Although I can't move your red circle.
No, because that was the ruler.
Oh, that's annoying. What a great tool. Roll 20.
Is that fine? Like it's kind of like I would be moving it more to the right anyway if it was filling out. Like
that?
No,
No,
don't have
other
to.
way.
Yeah, but move it away from the walls so the walls aren't actually. Yeah, the walls have to come in. Yeah.
Right.
Yep, that'd be it.
Like that?
Yep, that'd be perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Carlson casting fog cloud. Just everyone's covered in fog. Everyone loses vision on most things, and for some reason, Dean has a death marker on him.
He's allergic to fog clouds.
Okay. Then next up, did you want to move at all?
I want. Yeah. So what's the deal with the cart? Is it? It's difficult terrain, I assume.
Don't know. You're currently sitting in the cart, and you've just cast a
Yeah.
fog cloud, obscuring all vision of everyone in and around the cart.
So I like to get out the cart, like something like that. I don't know if that counts as trees.
So those are just kind of like trees that are off to the side. Yes.
Yep. Cool. That's me.
Yep. You
Are
can
we
kind of see that
running, or what are we doing? Like just kind of
within the card itself. There's just like these slowly deepening, thick brown tracks to where the cart is, and you can kind of see the mule struggling at the front of the cart.
I hope you all appreciate the beautiful artistry that went into this mule.
Oh yeah.
Scully Boy version 2. Yep, that's it. That's me.
Okay, perfect. Shock, you're up next.
Okay, I'm gonna move out of the cart and move to the edge of the fog cloud. And shoot this wolf with a bow.
I would say that you wouldn't be able to clearly see that wolf specifically from how far out you've gone.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
I would say the two that are directly north of you and those to your west you can see, but that specific wolf is still kind of like straight through the fog cloud, so you'd struggle to see it.
Okay. I'll change targets to this one.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, a 7 does not hit. To kind of like properly answer Carlson's question earlier, this isn't difficult terrain, but putting such a heavy cart through this ground is what's caused it to kind of bog down.
No, I understand that, but I mean, like, how does it work as an object like the wolves as a barrier more than difficult terrain?
They haven't physically stopped you. We've
No,
avoided.
I know that, but like in movement, like using it as a.
If you want to move through the wolf.
No, the wolves are going to. If the wolves come to attack us, then what does the cart? How does the cart hinder their movement, if any?
I would say that if they tried to climb over the cart, that it would take 5 feet to get on top of it and 5 feet to get back down off of it.
Yeah.
I don't think the dire wolves would even have that penalty. They're
Sure.
I
bigger than-
didn't necessarily intend in getting them to jump onto the cart, but if necessary, that's at best how I'd play it.
dire wolves are pretty much as big as small horses, right? Or on par with
No,
the
no,
donkey.
they're bigger than
Bigger.
horses.
No, they
Shit.
wouldn't be. I don't think so. They'd be pretty big, bigger than an average wolf, but not quite as big as a horse.
They're actually considered large, where horses are considered medium. So they are.
Thank you
From
for
a
finding the horse icon.
That's actually a mule icon. I got it
Oh.
separate to the horse icon.
Wow.
So a horse is within D&D considered. Let's have a look at. Hey, I'll go like full-sized. War horse is considered a large, so it's comparable to a war horse.
Or a pony. I'm seeing here.
A riding horse would be considered large as well. So about the size of a horse.
Yeah,
Horses
wow.
were bigger than I thought they were in D&D. Okay. So unfortunately, no shock. The 7 does not hit. You haven't consumed all of your movement or your bonus actions or anything, so I don't know if you want to move back into the fog cloud or.
Yep, I will retreat to the fog cloud. Yeah, that's it.
This wolf is going to kind of get to the precipice of this fog cloud, not really sure of what it should be doing, and just growl. For the rest of the party that is currently consumed by the all powerful fog, you just kind of hear a growling off to your northwest.
And Dino, just for context, what John has done in this grey circle is he has put 3 smoke machines and hotboxed a car. We can't see anything.
Hotboxing the cart is a pretty accurate description, so I really do appreciate that. But yeah, in essence, you can't see much further than 5 feet.
And why it's particular to point that out is dark vision lets you see through darkness, but because this is fog, it's actually little particles physically blocking the view. So even dark vision, you ain't see shit.
No advantage.
So yeah, the direwolf is pretty much going to be doing the same. It's coming to the fog. It knows that somewhere in the fog is more meat, and it would like the meat, and it is growling to let the meat know that the meat is going to be it soon. But it is currently sitting on that kind of precipice in a moment of like uncertainty, and wolves tend to hunt in packs. And the pack had kind of spread itself a bit thin to like enjoy its meal, and then just suddenly another meal has showed up. So it's just regrouping as far as you guys can tell.
It showed up on a wooden plate.
Exactly. As we move on to Jackal's turn.
Whoops.
Right, so Jackal's going to hop out of the cart, gain some cover right behind this rock over here. Still within the fog, unfortunately, so yes, there is no vision of anything outside. Is hearing some animals on the perimeter, just northwest of
I can always drop the fog, but yeah.
Okay, gaining
no one
position.
seems to be. Yeah.
I was just going to mention, if you're not familiar with 5e, as I suspect the last version of D&D you played was 3.5, and I don't know 3.5 to be able to comment.
Yep.
30
feet of
ready
movement.
in action. So if you would, let's say, just take a swing at a beast that shows up, you can just say, I ready an attack in case something comes close to me. that is completely valid if you're just trying to orientate yourself in this sort of scenario.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So Jackal kind of finds where he remembers cover to be, moves over there, and just kind of gets ready for whatever comes through this fog cloud as we roll into Garum.
Right. This is really fucking yuck. So I'll move south. So stepping off the cart, are you saying that is an additional 5 foot of movement?
I would say so, yes.
5, 10, 15. I'll bump into Callison and I'll try to move around him.
Mm-hmm.
I'll move into the bushes. I'll swear at the bushes. And then I've got no more movement.
It's just mockery on the bushes.
There's assumptions you're making based upon mathematics, and I completely get it. I'm still considering a diagonal movement 5 feet.
Okay.
You don't have to move up, down, left, right.
I accounted for moving into the bushes as being difficult terrain.
Ooh.
So I've got 5 foot of movement left, but moving any direction is 10 foot of movement for me.
Yep,
So I'm
completely fair. Yeah.
Almost all of my spells rely on actually seeing a target.
Mm-hmm.
The difficult terrain would probably only come into context if we're in combat, right? Or is it movement as well?
It's all movement is affected by difficult terrain. Its most important implications tend to be within combat, because combat's when you really care about how quickly you're moving.
Yes. Okay.
The only time that difficult terrain really comes into effect when you're talking about overworld movement is when, like, you're trying to traverse a swamp.
Yep.
And it then takes twice as long because the entire swamp is considered difficult terrain. That sort of thing.
Except for Shrock. Shrock has bonuses in swamps because of the Shrek. Anyway, so with my roll of 11, do I happen to know if wolves have any particular fears of other creatures? Like, is there anything that hunts wolves?
So I wouldn't. I would say that you know that wolves
The
tend to
context
be.
why I ask is I want to make an illusionary sound of something that they might fear.
Things that are bigger than them.
An elephant trumpets from within the fog. Elephants are pretty big, I guess.
I kind of forget what the contested role is. Would it be? I want to say a wisdom saving throw against things that might intimidate them.
Intelligence against my spell DC to determine that it's an illusion.
Yeah, fair. How? I'm assuming, I think it's minor illusion that you're considering.
Yes.
Okay, so minor illusion. Does it say how far the sound is heard?
The range of the spell is 30 feet, but the sound itself, I don't know that there's a barrier on the sound existing.
I would say then, if you wanted it to be an intimidating sound, that anything within 30 feet of you would then need to work out whether this is an illusion or not.
Sure.
So with
radius, burst, and then
I would say that these to the northwest need to consider whether that is a real elephant and act accordingly.
Sure.
So the two wolves
you want me to use my own intimidation to attempt to strike fear in the heart of their cowardly hearts?
I was considering it, but I don't think so. I think that it makes more sense to go against your spell save DC,
Well,
which at a guess
save.
would be 13.
Or it would be a performance roll. Trying to mimic an elephant.
So I guess what I'm considering there is that minor illusion is pretty set against their spell casting abilities rather than their abilities to remember what something looks like. I think that I gave a pretty wide range to Garum, and elephant technically falls within that range. I'm trying to work out what DC would intimidate a wolf, because all three of them really cannot tell that there isn't legitimately an elephant within 30 feet of them.
So now the wolves need to decide whether or not they're scared of it, or if it's just a really, really big meal.
Well, that's why I was trying to squeeze intimidation in to make it a spooky elephant.
Here, it will mathematically make it a lot easier for me to roll insight against intimidation.
Sure.
So wisdom saving throw against whatever you manage to roll here.
24.
Yep. So none of these have a high enough wisdom to even contest that. So I would say yes. These are under the condition of what I would consider fear, which means for the next turn they cannot move any closer to you.
Perfect. That works very fucking well for me.
How long does minor illusion last?
A minute. Not concentration.
So it's a bit overpowered in some respect for the condition, but I would say as long as they can't see what's in the fog, that they know that instinctively there's a elephant there ready to kill them.
That's the only reason I went for it. They can't see that it's not there. All right, and I'm that's my me done.
As another wolf kind of rolls up to thick of the fog, growling at what it knows to be in the fog, but not yet pouncing. As we roll on to Leon.
When I last saw the mule, how was it attached to the wagon?
Mm-hmm. So the wagon itself, if you look at it from the rear, it doesn't have any latched door. So it is just that flat surface with sides to it. There is two long seats on either side. There isn't any dedicated storage within the cart itself. From the front of the cart itself, there is a small bench seat that could fit two people side by side to take the initiative of handling the mule at the front. And then there is two long, thick wooden, I forget the actual legitimate name for them, but like two thick poles that launch forward out to where the mule would be, and then a piece of leather that grips onto the mule itself to allow the mule to pull it forward. It would be what I would refer to as a single wheel wagon, but in essence, there is only one wheel per side. And if there is not an attachment through to a mule, then it would naturally just rest on the ground in one direction.
All right. Will you allow me to cut the leather strap holding the wagon to the mule and then jump onto the mule to ride it away to freedom?
As someone with a soldier's background, I would let you consume your action to remove the restraints from the mule, and let you physically ride the mule. Yes.
Cool. My intent would be to free it from the wagon, jump on it to ride it, and then ride it as far south as I can get in a turn.
Mm-hmm. So, I would say you get here on your mule.
Cool. And I'd call back, run, Get the fuck out of here. There's a bonus action. That's it. That's the end of my turn.
Let me just move up some. Well, five. And as we kind of round the turn back around to Callus, and the entire party just feels that there's growling from almost everything west of them at this moment.
Certainly, the New York boy is very brave. Give me 1 second. Just need to.
It's okay. I realize I need to move the wolf one back because it's currently intimidated or in fear of the elephant sounds coming from this hog.
Yeah, I can't do anything. I'm going to tell the orcs to look, hurry up, run, get back.
Don't forget, you can't see anything, so it's hard
Yeah.
to know
I'm just
how to
speaking out
avoid
loud.
the bushes.
I heard the movement and you know that Shock tried to shoot at something, but that's about it.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20. Does that count as 20?
Mm-hmm.
25, 30. Does that
Yeah.
good?
Sharks.
Cool. That's my turn.
Trock, you're up next.
Yep, following that lead, I'm gonna follow what I heard to be horse movement.
It would take you about 20 feet of movement to get directly left of Leon, and then you're free to move the extra 10 feet from there.
Yep, so that's 20. That's 30. I'm gonna use my dash.
Yep.
How many tiles do I get with it?
So dashing is an extra 30 feet of movement.
Oh, perfect. Right on the edge.
We are not going to outrun wolves.
Yeah. Like a guy on the horse might be fine. But the mule, I mean.
Mule.
Maybe not.
Pretty sure they're faster than mules.
They're
We'll
faster
find
than
out.
Never mind, I take that one back. It's not a horse.
That's it.
All right. Onwards to Wolf 2, which I'm going to do a. I don't even know why I'm trying because nat 20 or bust. Still is
Really?
very scared of the elephant. Also very scared of the
Oh.
elephant.
Oh,
Nearly.
okay.
Onwards to Jackal.
Biding some time. Well, Jackal's still hearing these growls in his periphery.
The fucking elephant from somewhere.
He's going to double back. Roughly 20 feet. Position himself just behind the shrubbery here. Or trees, rather. And end his turn.
Okay. If Leon wasn't riding the mule, I would technically treat the mule as its own action, but it is currently being driven by Leon. Garam?
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. From here, do I have visibility on that wolf to my west?
I would say yes. You'd be able to see it fairly clearly by now.
All right, and then I will. I'll cast Sacred Flame on that wolf. Can I get a Wisdom save from the wolf, please? Oh, get fucked.
It is very much not well.
All right. Bonk. Four radiant damage. And I will move back into the fog. And I will say we need to keep the fog up and use the outside to bring them down. We have to fight. And that's me. That's me done. I really want to know what would have happened if we ran the cart into that dire wolf.
1d4 bludgeoning damage and roll initiative.
I would have probably said with a mule that can pull. A mule moves at 40 feet per second. I would say that if it's pulling a cart, it would move at 20 feet per second. But if we were running it as hard as we could, as long as that timing was under an hour, which very much we are, I would say that 40 feet makes sense. On 40 feet of movement, I would say probably about 3d6 worth of bludgeoning damage.
Splat.
But I would have made everyone in the cart make an acrobatics check to remain in the cart.
Right.
Because those who fail would move 10 feet forward from where the cart hits the direwolf. In terms of having fun. Okay. So, this wolf 3 is currently up, and it is going to try and sniff out where its nearest person is. The nearest target is, and start moving forward to that. So I would say on a 16, yes, it can smell where it needs to move. So 5, 10, 25. And it is going to make a bite attack against Jackal through the miss. I don't believe an 8 hits. So an 8 against your armor class, Dean, would be
It's my armor class.
Upper left. In the big shield icon.
15, yeah.
Yep. So an 8 does not be 15. Because we've got the fog up, every attack is rolling at disadvantage. So unless they can get advantage, there's no way for them to not roll at disadvantage. If they can get advantage, then it's just a straight roll. Because disadvantage and advantage cancel each other out no matter how many times you stack them. And there's no like double advantage, triple advantage, etc. Next up would be Leon on the mule. So just for the sake of clarity, you are technically on the mule. I've just put you on a different tile because it's easier to move you about.
Cool. So how does this... Am I able to decide the moves for the... Like, does the mule get a turn and can I choose what it does?
You are proficient with riding horses in combat scenarios. The mule isn't necessarily good at it, and it's going to make a saving throw of some sort that I haven't decided on yet. Any round you're in combat with something, because it is not a war horse, on whether it will remain in combat and support you or not. But until it fails one of those rolls, you are in control of its 40 feet of movement.
But it doesn't get an actual turn. Like, I couldn't tell it to use a dash action and use 80 feet of movement. I couldn't tell it to use disengage. I couldn't get it to also attack. I can't
I would
do any
give you
of that.
access to dash, but it would cost you your action as well.
Okay. All right.
Jota, what you're asking to do, I think you have to have specifically a trained war horse to do that stuff.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good to know. I'm just saying I don't know how it works, so I'm not looking to change the rules, just know what they are, so that's fine.
From my perspective, I haven't recently read this because I haven't recently looked into mounted combat. I'm going off my memory here. Fairly sure I'm mostly correct here. A mule, though, in my opinion, is not a combat animal, and it is not going to want to stay around anything. And you just might be put in an undesirable situation if you try and do too much combat on a mule.
Okay. I'm going to give it one go anyway. So I'd like to use 15 feet of movement to go towards that nearest wolf and then roll an attack for it.
Go for
it.
Oh no.
I would probably
practice.
suggest that using a cavalry item like a mule to make attacks from the back of it doesn't lean towards the target you want to take a strike at. It wants to actively not be in combat. So although I'm not going to say that it forcibly moves away, it's also going to put you in a disadvantage situation when making attacks on muleback. Is that the correct terminology? Let's go with it. Doesn't affect the outcome of this turn, but something for consideration as you learn how the mule behaves as you charge at a target.
Right. And when I get attacked, how does who's can the wolves choose to attack either me or the mule? Are they forced to attack one or the other?
I would say if it attacks the horse and the horse, if it attacks the mule and the mule falls, you are knocked prone. Otherwise, it gets to choose which it attacks.
Okay. All right, I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay.
And that's it. I guess that's the end of my turn, which...
Is Shield of Faith concentration?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Concentration's broke when you're hit, isn't it? Sorry.
You have to roll a saving throw.
Yep.
50-50 chance to not break concentration, essentially.
Yeah. Well, it's not 50-50, but yeah.
It's a DC 10 check unless I get hit with a gigantic amount of damage.
I was wrong about the amount of movement direwolves have. I thought it was 40 feet. Turns out to be 50 feet. So the direwolf does come racing around the back of that direwolf to your northwest, charging directly at you and your mule. It is going to make an attack at the mule underneath you because it is made of more meat. However, because it has a wolf beside it, it does get pack tactics. So it does roll at advantage. Naturally, a 9 does not hit. Even a mule has 10 AC. So just short of eating down on this mule as it kind of rears back as this wolf or dire wolf just comes racing out of nowhere. The wolf 4, it is also going to make an attack at your mule because meat. Again at advantage.
Oh.
Critting. And Jorda, you are knocked prone as the mule underneath you is destroyed.
Rip me off.
As
no.
this wolf one-shots the mule that you're riding, you are currently knocked prone. Any attack against you is automatically with advantage?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's right.
It is.
I don't have a better
He
icon for that.
automatically
Ranged.
gets up though, doesn't he, on his turn?
I can use half of my movement. I can use 15 feet of movement to get up.
Yep.
Mhm.
Cool.
Which is the right call.
Very much so, because he attacks with a disadvantage until he stands up as well.
My God.
Next up, this wolf is going to make its unnecessary intelligence check again. Nat 20 or bust on a 24. Not on a
19.
24th. No, what's your AC? Your int check? Your spellcaster DC.
Sorry, DC 13, so he passes.
Yes. He realizes that this indeed is not a elephant and is something else. It is going to make a perception check. Nope, that's the wrong button. To try and sniff out where you guys are, but isn't able to determine where that is. So he's just kind of hanging around his bros at the moment.
See, I know what happened there, Scott. His brain is thinking no elephant, but his nose is thinking elephant.
I would say that the sniffing around, he's able to determine that no, there isn't an elephant. He knows that that noise has a smell to it. That smell isn't present. But there's too many smells at the moment. And he is next to a corpse that is full of meat that he wants to eat. So he just can't work out where he needs to go next.
The wolf has synesthesia. He's smelling sounds.
The next wolf is going to come up.
Oh, God.
Actually, no, because I'm going to say, Gorgo, you're there. And is there a way for me to... That kind of works for now. Layering is a problem for me because I've got too many things on my screen. It is going to try and make sure that it can work out where you are before it tries to route itself through the fog. On a 21, it does. So it's going to come around here and it's going to make an attack against you to try and eat you out. Gorgo? Does a 15 hit? 15 does not hit, and it is unable to push down that 12 damage thanks to, I'm assuming, your Shield of Faith?
Nope, chainmail 16.
Perfect. As it tries to bite into you and try and rip like that first layer of skin off, but it just kind of gets its teeth jammed in your chainmail as it just kind of reels back a bit like, why is this human metal? My meat should it not be metal? As we move across to Callison. Callison, how do you want to proceed?
Yeah. I have a 1 second, sorry. Like, I don't want to trying to keep my character's choices separate from...
I understand the desire to not metagame. While you try and work out what that action is, I'm going to take a piss. Be right back.
Sure.
I can't tell if Fog of Cloud has saved us or fucked us.
Well, in what way has it fucked us? There being 3 dire wolves is what fucked us. Anything beyond that is irrelevant.
Like, we haven't been attacked yet. Like, only Jordo has been attacked because he's outside the cloud. So, like, I feel like we could have prepared a little bit.
No, we didn't have time to prepare.
Nah.
It certainly was a great delaying action.
Yeah. I could split them at least, and that's the issue that I kind of want to solve. Like, the group to the north is going to come at some point. If it's next turn, then I might as well drop the fog cloud now. But
no, I wouldn't. I'd keep it up as long as we can.
Yeah.
Because we can still weave in and out of the fog and hope Chordo's delicious meaty corpse continues to be distracting.
I mean, they've got to make a pretty decent roll to actually get through my DC.
Sure. Which is the other point. Yeah, that's okay. Fine. Okay.
If we're not running, you need to do damage.
Yeah. I believe I heard Scott's door.
You did.
Can I turn into a direwolf?
I don't believe so. Let me check. See, one large beast? Maybe, yes. Let me... I gave you a link Like in
Yeah.
our very first session.
It's in
that's
CR1.
everything. Yep. Then
So
yeah.
because you're the special shapeshifter type, what's your limit?
It's CR1 at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is
There's so many good CR1 creatures.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Giant spiders, giant
Yep.
toads, dire wolf is one of them.
Shapeshift into a human.
A human is
I
not a
wanted to
beast.
shapeshift
Nick.
into
You
something
should know
useful.
that. You DM'd enough fucking games.
So as I understand it correctly,
Shapeshift
I would
into yourself, but slightly larger.
I would get
polymorph
pack
yourself
tactics
and
as
get yourself
well, right?
pregnant.
Sorry, Carlson. Garum was speaking out of turn. What were you saying?
I would get pack tactics as well, would I?
So you
Or
would
is
have
that-
access to pack tactics. The actual wording of pack tactics is you have advantage on attack rolls against a creature if at least one of your allies is within 5 feet and is not incapacitated.
Oh my god, there's another one out there. What the fuck?
Yep, this one is Callison.
Oh right.
This one is
That's
you.
me. Oh god. I kind of wanted to go over here, like these 4 squares. Just under Jordo's.
So let me move things around, and I'm fairly sure you're actually able to physically move that token now. Can you confirm that for me?
I sure can. Just everything else is black, so I'm not sure where I'm moving it to.
Oh, perfect. I can
That's right.
actually adjust the vision so you can see what you're doing.
I'm a direwolf and I'm blind. I must rely on my sense of hearing and smell.
When you transferred into a bat the last game, I should have just blocked your vision.
Yep. So I I should have asked first, but does concentration break then? Not yet.
It does not. You can maintain concentration through. However, if you do get hit, you will need to make a concentration check to maintain that fog up.
And
when it comes to attacking, you're going to be rolling 1d20 plus 5 to hit, and damage is 2d6 plus 3.
goddamn, I'll stay on the direwolf form for a while. No. Can I? What about other spells that don't require? Like, can I cast cantrips and stuff while
You
shapeshifting?
cannot cast once you've transformed. You have to use the abilities of the form you've transformed into. The only exception to that is if you had concentration before you transformed, you can maintain it while you're transformed.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I'll attack this closest direwolf
Yep.
to my left. Well, the only one that I can hit.
So give me 1d20 plus 5.
No.
On a nat 1, unfortunately, you do not hit.
Huh.
However, with pack tactics, because you are within 5 feet of Leon, you do have advantage in this roll. So please roll that again, and we can take whichever of the two is higher. You're trying to beat an AC of 14.
Sag.
Do we have
Unfortunately, the
bardic
12 does not
inspiration?
hit.
We do not.
Not yet.
Oh, I was asking about bardic inspiration, but we don't have.
The bardic inspiration was not cast, unfortunately. So he does not currently have any inspiration die to exhaust.
Yep.
I assume that covers your turn?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Onwards to Shrock. Please go ahead.
Speaking of bardic inspiration, I'm gonna give one to each of Leon and Callison.
Bardic inspiration, can you just post the wording for me quickly? I'm fairly sure you can only do it once per turn.
Once within the next 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, that's once
one
per
creature.
creature. Technically,
Oh,
you
well.
can. Does it say specifically that you can only do it once per turn?
One creature. You can use a bonus creature on your turn to choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet who can hear you.
Yeah. But it doesn't require concentration. So he could technically use both his bonus action and his action to do this. However, I think that's a poor use of your action.
Yeah. So.
But I am not someone who will impose my personal beliefs onto someone. So if they want to use their action to do something that could be considered a bonus action, like, you do you, dude.
Yep. Okay. So for now, I'm just gonna give one to Jordo.
Okay.
Then that consumes my bonus action. I'm gonna shoot the small one.
Yep. I'm trying to overcome AC 13.
Good campaign, guys, honestly.
Fortunately, you do not have advantage on this roll, so that is an 11.
Yep.
You're unable to hit that smaller wolf.
Was Jordo damaged? Leo?
No, full
Leo
health.
has not been hit. It was only the mule that he was riding that has been killed.
As a note, I am going to have to leave in like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and my turn.
Wolf 2 is going to try and make that intelligence save to confirm that it is not a elephant intimidating it, and it still thinks it's an elephant. The direwolf is now going to try and overcome whether this intimidating elephant exists, and it is very confident that it exists. Onwards to Jackal. You've kind of seen this massive direwolf move around close by you, but you don't have perfect vision of it at this stage. So while within the fog, you're still going to be attacking with disadvantage, but you're free to do whatever you feel like.
Let me add some
yeah.
context to what's going on. So with your barbarian ability to recklessly attack,
I was just looking at that, to be honest.
you give yourself advantage to attack, and for the until your next turn, everything that attacks you has advantage to hit you
on
as
me,
well.
yeah. And I gained that at second level. I'm level 3, so I could use that, or I could just enter a rage now and try and fuck up this cunt next to Jordo.
That's right. You can do both. You can enter a rage and reckless attack.
Well, I need to use my bonus action before I attack, because I can't attack twice, right? Unless it's like a spell or something. Is that correct? Or unless the ability itself says I can. So I would then need to initiate rage.
Level 5, you get a second attack.
Okay.
So that's
So
a later
rage
thing.
is a bonus action. Reckless attack is just a feature.
Okay.
Sorry, reckless attack. Sorry, I was looking at reckless endurance because I'm fucking with your character sheet. Reckless attack, you can just decide.
Okay.
It doesn't consume anything. It's just the way in which you carry out the action.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to attack the direwolf directly to my left with my scimitar.
Yep. Are you entering a rage first?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. And then reckless or non-reckless attack?
I'm going to go non-reckless attack.
Go for it.
Hang on. Hang on.
I
know, but he doesn't know. So the direwolves, when they're next to one of their allies, they get advantage. So if they attack you, it's already with advantage. So you giving them advantage to hit you is not giving them any.
They already have advantage.
Yeah, it doesn't give them any extra bonuses.
Sure.
Also, you did move out of the reaction radius of this wolf, so it does get.
It would get an opportunity of attack if it had vision.
I didn't know you needed
within
vision.
The fog.
Okay.
So even if within 5 feet, it can't make.
Do you really need to be able to see something in order to take a reaction against it?
Yes, because otherwise, how do you know that you get a reaction?
Okay.
So is that a legal move, moving away from the one that's already attacked me? Technically outside of a fog where I can still kind of see the direwolf to attack it.
It's a grey area in terms of ruling because the fog is up and we don't have good vision of each other. I'm going to say no. knows that you're there, or it remembers that you're there and it tried to attack you and missed. When you move away, it can't see you moving away because it's blinded and it's got to attack with its advantage to attack you to begin with. So it might think you've moved away, but it doesn't have any like way of knowing explicitly that it's happened, so it can't make that opportunity of attack. Or at least that's the ruling I'm going with here. Again, gray area.
No, I
I'm
think
happy to
that
not get
nails
the
it.
opportunity. Yeah. I don't think I'm being unfair in the situation. Again, I thought Nick was going to go through the whole reckless thing about the stacking of advantage, disadvantage, and all of that. If you want to make the reckless attack in the context of what Nick has just shared, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll just take it as you have not made a reckless attack and you are just using your rage and taking a swing.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a non-reckless attack?
Non-reckless attack, yeah.
Yep, perfect. Okay, so on a 8, you do not hit the direwolf, no.
Okay.
And it does end your turn. I think, again, he mentioned, I think level 5 is when barbarians get access to their second attack per turn.
Now, Dino, you've
no,
done a little move, then you've attacked. You can still finish off the rest of your movement, so you can duck back into the fog for a little bit of
Is
safety.
the absolute limit 30 feet of movement even after I've used it, like an attack?
You can move,
Right.
attack, move however you want. It's just after you finish your turn, you cannot consume unused movement.
I finish my turn. Yeah, for sure. Okay. No, I'll probably stay put.
Yep.
All right. Guys, I'm not going to make death saving throws to this mule unless you have a specific need to try and resurrect it, but I'm fairly sure none of you guys know how to resurrect a mule.
No, that's all right. Callison can turn into a mule and cut. Alrighty, I'm going to move down to here. Now, can I immediately recognize that one of the dire wolves is Callison, or am I going to blast Callison?
I mean, I would be facing the other one.
I think this encounter is hard enough without turning it into PvP.
Again, house rules, no PvP. To make that easy, you know which is Callison and which is a direwolf. You can tell because one of them looks similar to a dragon wolf. I don't know.
Sure. Yep, that works. Okay, so I'm going to get fucking funky with this. So I'm going to use a sorcery point, and I'm going to cast a spell at a higher level. So I am going to guiding bolt the 2 dire wolves that I can see. I'm using twin spell.
I know what twin spell is, yes, and I'm happy to allow for that because guiding bolt is a single target spell, so twin spell makes sense. So you expend 2 higher level spell slots to do this?
No, 1 higher level spell slot and 1 sorcery point.
No, you have on twin spell. Don't you have to exhaust 2 spell slots to do?
Actually, sorry. Spend a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level. Since I'm casting it at a higher level, it's a higher level. So 2 sorcery points.
Yep. If that's the way it's written, I don't want to go check right now.
Yep, I just read the thing. So 2 sorcery spells and 1 higher level spell. So I need to actually hit. So I'll just click the button and then I'll have to add a d6 for the extra. Oh, I can set the level higher. Okay, perfect. Now I think it's 1 attack roll for both. I don't know if I have to roll attack rolls individually. It wasn't clear.
I would say that they have to be individual attack rolls.
All right. Now, hang on. I'm not done. I'm going to trigger my favor of the gods ability and / roll 2d4, and I add this to my attack. Fuck. Oh my fuck.
Okay, is that the direwolf to the left of Callison or the one to the north?
I believe that's both. So I think they both whiff.
I was saying that you needed to roll separate attack rolls for each.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll do that one as the southern one.
Yep. Okay. So unfortunately, a 13 just falls short of hitting the direwolf. Can you make an attack roll at a normal cast level for the other one?
Sorry, what do you mean a normal cast level?
So you said you were upcasting one, or is it upcasting both?
It upcasts both.
Yep. Okay. So yep. Perfect. Making
basically,
another.
I
attack roll
upcast
of
the spell and then add the meta magic on top.
Yeah. So you only expel one spell slot from that higher level. You get 2 spells, but it costs you more sorcery points. I understand, but I need a second attack roll for the second creature. 14
Okay.
hits.
Oh, thank fuck. All right. 15 radiant damage.
20 radiant damage, I believe, is the damage there because you get the extra d6. Is it 4d6 or 5d6?
Oh, I see how it's done that. Why has it done that? Yeah, it's 5d6, so 20.
Man, you fucking hit this thing. You see the kind of fur, like, how do I put it? You know when you get a lighter against a wall vest and you realize it's acrylic and it just kind of swivels up?
No, none of us will know that. Why do you?
I guess I went through an emo phase. So you know how when you're outdoors, fuck. You know when you have a gas stove and you accidentally see your arm hair get close to the gas stove and it kind of shrivels up?
Scott, what the fuck is wrong with you? I send my guiding bolt through both of the wolf's kidneys. And
You know when you insert something into a wolf's kidneys.
Scott, please never go outside again.
I grew up very differently to everyone else, it seems. You hurt the wolf for 20 points of damage.
Now it's angry.
You see that most of the fur has just kind of become a matted mess across its body, and there's just scars left there and open wounds across its entire body. It's angry, still functional, but it looks pretty hurt. Anything else?
No. Yes, I will.
That sure did sound like a no, but I know you're going to move back into the fog, so please go ahead.
I'll move. That's all I can get for movement. I don't know why I came out so far. And because I plan to duck out, do the thing, and go back in, but that's apparently how I've done that. So here we are.
So on a 14, I would say that the wolf is going to move down closest to Jackal. It would have disadvantage, but because of pack tactics, it has advantage. So it's just a straight roll, which is going to be a 13 to hit. I believe your armor class is 15, Jackal.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Unable to make or find purchase as you kind of hear this wolf nipping at your heels, but unsuccessful in doing so. Leon, please tell me what you're doing.
Which is the wounded wolf?
The one to your north.
Cool. So obviously 15 feet of movement to stand back up.
Sorry, technically, the one between the two direwolves is the wolf that's hurt. The direwolf that is hurt is to your north.
Yeah. I meant the big one. Sorry. Yeah, so 15 feet of movement to stand back up, and then I'm going to aim a great sword slash at the direwolf that is hurt.
Mm-hmm. Trying to overcome a 14 here.
Oh, yes.
Fucking hell.
Oh.
And do I have to declare a smite now or after we see the outcome of the slash?
I believe the wording for Divine Smite is before I tell you if it's hit or not. Technically, because I'm saying the armor class, that invalidates that entire ruling. I just say the armor class to make combat quicker. So as long as you do it before I tell you the outcome of whether it's hurt more or not, I'm
for
fine.
Smite is when you hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so
when you hit, perfect.
Yeah, so after I hit, but before you tell me if the slash would kill it or not.
Mm-hmm.
We very much need to secure the kill, so I am going to use Smite.
Please add your smite damage on top of that. Okay.
Get wrecked, Wolf.
So as you kind of stand up, you bring your great sword out again and you take that slash. You kind of find perfect purchase within, one of the big open wounds left by that guiding bolt. You just focus all of your energy and you kind of get this feeling of like Taia really backing you up in this strike. And almost as if Taia's hammer itself smacks to the back of that blade to really push it forward. You do exactly precisely amount of damage.
That's fucking lucky.
Sever that wolf in half as its legs go this way and its head goes that way. I couldn't actually remember how the commercial goes, and I don't think that makes any sense to Adrian, but I'm fairly sure
No, you nailed it.
Perfect. Okay. As you sever that dire wolf in half.
Lucky.
Now the other wolves know there's meat inside wolves.
Oh no. So just thinking, sorry.
I mean, if he moved, he would take advantage.
Oh, I'm not moving.
I mean, take hits from both of them, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh god,
That
yes.
is correct.
No, I'm not trying to move.
No. I'm just confirming.
Oh, you're looking for like a cheeky bonus action?
I'm just considering one thing at the moment. Jesus. Okay. All right. I will not do what I was thinking of doing, and that'll end my turn.
Perfect. Onwards to the direwolf that has seen you turn and take that slash straight through. What we are going to assume was its brother is going to make a vicious attack straight at you as you make that movement.
Oh god.
No.
All right,
That's
good
not
thing
happening.
I'm glad I didn't do the thing I was going to do.
So, ow.
Oh yeah.
That is 22 points of damage. Can you make me a strength check?
Can you even survive
Save?
that hit?
Yes, I
You
have
can.
survived it.
Right.
I'm still on my feet.
This is why campaigns normally start at level 3, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
Sorry, strength save or strength check?
Strength saving throw.
Oof.
Just overcoming it. Just making it. Preventing yourself being knocked prone. That shit hurt.
Oh yeah.
You know what hurts
I need
more?
to roll. I need to
The
roll for
wolf
concentration.
right next to it also gets to attack you.
Hold on, I
with
need to
advantage.
roll concentration. What is that again? Constitution?
So because you took 25 points of damage, you're going to have to beat a DC 12 Constitution saving throw as opposed to a DC 10.
Saving throw. Goodbye, AC. All right, so I'm down to 16.
Goodbye AC as an advantage attack 19.
I am down.
Oh
You are
no.
down. As all of you see your good friend Leon fall, and Jackal, you see this new guy you've just met, Leon, fall.
Oh,
Just
no.
want to point out our rolls have been fucking dog shit, and they've had 2 crits in like 4 rolls. But anyway,
What was the
Piece
other
of shit
crit?
RNG.
Not's faking it.
Oh yeah, there was crit.
they crit the mule.
Oh yeah, they crit the mule. That's right.
They've literally had about 4 attacks, and 2 of them have been crits, and we've had like 6 attacks, and like 4 of them have missed.
Let's not forget my wimpy roll.
Because it's going to try and find 5, 10.
Oh no! Is that with? Oh, that's
25,
perception.
30, 40 minutes.
Right.
As it's making its way down through the fog cloud to where it perceives me to be.
Oh, why is Callison not in the initiative anymore?
I'm first.
So Callison
Listen,
occurs after this dead direwolf. So now is your turn, Callison. The reason you don't occur, and I can literally just bring your token back to the playing field for everyone's visibility.
Oh, you removed him so that he could be the
I
direwolf.
didn't.
That fucked
I
up the
just moved him
initiative.
to that GM layer where you can store everything that just the GM sees.
Right.
But that kind of pulls it back on that turn order automatically, but you can't move that token. Instead, I've assigned you the big direwolf token as your token to move around as you feel free.
Yep.
So right now, you do not have a ally within 5 feet that is not incapacitated.
Yep.
So you do not have a pack tactics for this unless you
Yep.
were to move up on top of your friend. Which mechanically has no detriment and then gives you advantage. So I guess mechanically it's fine.
You can also just stand over me, protecting me.
I mean,
That
they're
also
probably
works.
not going to keep attacking you. But the target itself has to have an ally within 5 foot, right?
Yeah, but if you were to move up 5 feet, you would have Jackal within 5 feet of you, giving you that pack tactics back. Because it's not within 5 feet of the target, it's within 5 feet of you.
Oh, just 5 feet of me. Oh, okay. Well, then yes, I would move up.
Yep. Unlike rogues that need 5 feet within its target, you just need 5 feet within yourself for moral support.
I have to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and join Discord on my phone. I won't be able to talk because I'll be in the car for like 30 minutes, and I'll be able to hear what you say. If there's anything that's particularly of note, I'll type it into the Roll20 chat or Discord or something. But I feel like Scott can probably play out the rest of this combat for me.
I can certainly make your death saving throws for you.
Exactly.
Can I ask how long you'll be in transit for?
I'll probably be in the car for like 30 minutes, and then after that, I'm hanging out with a mate for his birthday, so I will just disconnect and be gone at about 6.
How long do your sessions usually go for, guys, on average?
It depends. So we time box it to run from 2:30 to 6:30 Australia time. And then that's when we try and call it for a session if everyone's got to go. But we have run sessions that have gone for over 12, 13 hours before because everyone just wants to keep playing.
Yeah, sure.
I would suspect, though, as Jordo has to leave, we probably won't go for a long session today.
Unless Jordo comes back.
There's no chance of that happening tonight. At 6, I'm gone for the night.
Not tonight, boys.
Not tonight, boys. I don't mind if you keep playing without me, as long as, like, you know, either make rational decisions for my character or just take him out and of it in a. Like,
he's already been taken out.
Exactly my point. I don't really care. It's fine. Anyway, I gotta go. I'll join back on my phone.
Yep.
Bye.
Take care, man.
He doesn't care about his character bullshit. Okay, can I get action from yourself?
Sure.
There,
I'll hit
Carlson.
the little wolf.
Yep, go for it.
Wait, it's already damaged, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, I suppose that doesn't make any difference. Yep, I'll attack the little one.
Do direwolves get 1 or 2 attacks?
1, to my knowledge. Let me double check. Otherwise, this has been a much more powerful attack sequence.
Oh, God. Yeah. We'd have to retroactive.
So they only get 1 attack, but you are within 5 feet of an ally, so you do have advantage on this attack. So you're trying to overcome a 13.
Oh, finally.
13 you do, so 2d6 plus 3 damage. Well, wolves are smaller. Your jaw is big. A 12 ends that wolf's life. That wolf is not wolf. That wolf is dead.
Wolf.
Anything else you want to do?
No, I'm over.
Okay. I'll move on to Shrock. And just to answer your question, Shrock, no, when Callison has shapeshifted into a direwolf, he is unable to interact with the items that he has within his possession. He would, in essence, have his potion as well as everything he was wearing shapeshifted into the direwolf, so it would be physically inaccessible as well.
Okay. Okay, now what would happen if I give Jordo the heal?
So if you were to run up and drop a potion to his mouth, he'd come up. If you were to use Word of Healing, he'd come up. Anything that restores him to 1 HP restores him as a individual.
No, I mean, Callison is on top of Leon.
You can still see Leon. In essence, Callison is kind of half guarding that body.
Okay. I'm gonna use my bonus action, healing word on Leon.
Mhm. Okay, so restoring 4 HP. Let me bring him back up. Cool. So Leon is prone on the ground, but he's alive.
You're going to transfer Leon to me, and then I can do the things.
No.
All right.
Not because
No,
I
I do not
instinctively
care
believe
having
that
access to
Jordo
my
wouldn't
character
trust
sheet.
you with Leon, but more so like that, like the actual act of passing you control maps his character token to your character sheet. And that's just a whole bunch of bullshit.
Oh, okay. That's strange. Okay.
Okay. And is that against Direwolf to like the Direwolf to the west there?
Yep, to the left of Callison.
Fucking nat 20 with that hit. Off. So that's a solid 14 points of damage that we're taking against it. It definitely is far from what's needed to foul, like kill it, but it hurts. Like you really fucking drive that arrow straight through its throat, and the visceral growl that it's been letting out when it attacks has this like whistling noise as like the air escapes through that arrow hole that you've pierced through its neck.
All right.
Terrific.
Yep, and my
All right,
turn.
from you. Perfect. All right. Up to Wolf 2 that is going to try and overcome this illusion. What's your DC again?
13.
God. This fucking elephant is terrifying, guys. Fucking terrifying.
And at this point, it's just the memory of it because it only made a single sound.
I would say that as the duration of it, it's a minute. It is actively making sound for that minute.
Okay.
Direwolf is pretty scared of this elephant too. Let's be fair.
I can stay there.
So, Jackal, you've got that wolf to your north that's obscured by fog, or the dire wolf off to your west. How do you want to proceed?
Can he even see that there's a wolf to his north?
I mean, if I could see the one that was directly to my left, then surely I can see the one to the southwest.
So the one to your north, the
No,
wolf,
yeah,
you know is there because it made an attack against you and failed.
yeah,
You know that there's a wolf somewhere in that fog, and you can try and find your way and attack it with disadvantage.
yeah.
Or you can kind of run out of the fog at the wolf to your the dire wolf to your west.
Yeah. Okay.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move up on this big boy.
Yep.
And just straight up attack him with. Oh, also, question in the character sheet. For that one instance of rage that I've used, there is a counter underneath rage. Now, do I need to de-increment that or increment that? Because after one use, de-increment, right? So I have a total of 3 now. I'm at 2.
Correct.
Yeah, cool. So I'm just going to do a standard attack on this direwolf. Okay, that's a little bit better.
And you need to add some rage damage, right?
Well, no, because the rage that I used last turn ended on that turn, the way I understand it.
No. So the rage lasts for the duration. So everything that your rage
Duration of what?
encompasses, you hold onto for every, like, as long as you make an attack roll against something that turn, you maintain your rage. The your barbarian tree of frenzied rage is something that you have to declare when you go into a rage, which is instead of I want to go.
Oh yes, okay, all right. So
Yeah,
I've
sorry.
misinterpreted that bit of
Yep, yep.
text. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So when
So
you
then
go
it
into the rage,
accumulates and it'll stack essentially. Is that right?
yeah. So you have access to two things. You have access to raging, and you have access to a frenzy raged. If you go into a frenzy rage, you get to be able to consume your bonus action to make a second attack. But at
At
the
level
end of that
5.
rage, you suffer the level of exhaustion. However, if you're just going into a rage, what's described under rage is what you get access to, which is the resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage.
Yeah.
You gain a bonus to the damage roll that increases that rage damage itself
Yep.
that Nick was mentioning. And what else is here? Strength checks and saving throws.
And
And
against these wolves, that's really good because when they bite and hit you, it's a strength save to not get knocked prone.
Yep. Okay. But in terms of adding up the damage for my current attack, having used rage last turn, is that
so
inclusive of the roll that I've done with the scimitar attack, or do I need to do something separate now to add that in?
so up until level 9, you get +2
Plus
to your
2 rage
damage
damage.
rolls.
Yeah, I see that. There's a
Yeah.
checkbox unticked here for global damage modifier. Should I be ticking that to make it easier? Or
No.
should that have?
You can add a new one to global damage modifier and just make that your.
You can click it, but you've got to remember to
Click it when it's
untick
no
it when
longer
you're not
applicable.
raging.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
All
just
right.
tick it anytime you enter a rage so that you have that added to the rolls you make.
Sure.
But for now, you've rolled a 5. We know that there's +2 to that, so you've done 7 damage.
Yep. Okay.
We didn't really go through the difference between a rage and a frenzy raged. Are you currently in a rage, or are you currently in a
Rage.
frenzy rage?
Nah, just rage.
Perfect. So you deal 7 damage to this already hurt wolf, which it's starting to bleed quite heavily. It's far from giving up on its fight, but it is bleeding extensively.
Okay, very good. I was considering moving back, but I'm going to stay put.
Mhm.
End my turn.
Because it's got full visibility of you, it would get an opportunity of attack when you move away. And the other thing to consider is I would only count you as having advantage in this situation if you had have declared that you're making a reckless attack. Obviously, we can see the dice rolls and you would not have gained a benefit to it. However, just make sure if you want that advantage roll that you're making that call out that you are making a reckless attack.
Sure.
Perfect.
And the meme is for people who've been playing is never not reckless attack.
Yeah. So in
It's
essence,
just
most
so
things
fun.
will deal bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage outside of spellcasters. So you, in essence, have resistance anyway. So being hit doesn't matter as much as it does for other classes when you're raging. So if you're in a rage, you might as well just be properly raging and recklessly
Just
attack.
yeah, okay, sure.
Because it's just advantage on every attack. Before level 5, it's not a big deal. But the moment you hit level 5 and you're making 2 attacks per turn in a rage, like that is a big bump in damage. And if you're making a frenzy rage, that's 3 attacks a turn at level 5, where you're getting advantage on every attack to only then get advantage on attacks against you. Mathematically, unless there's a huge plethora of things attacking you, like you want to be consuming that.
So
Right.
20 AC to hit this dire wolf, and then 8 radiant damage.
So no, the AC of the wolf is 14. You made it 20 to hit. And yes, 8 radiant damage is taken by the wolf as it is starting to look quite bloodied and worn out. It is not doing well from everything that has been happening to it.
Poor thing.
Anything else you want to do?
No, that's me tapped out. I'll just move back into the fog though, and be blissfully unaware that there is a wolf there.
It's going to try and understand your presence. Yeah, 5 is quite low. It probably isn't fully aware of everything that's going on around it, but if you're within 5 feet, it can still make that attack against you with disadvantage, of course. But it wouldn't be aware of the position of any of your allies. Well, it does so, and it's not aware of the position of any of its own allies. Either way, a 7 to hit isn't going to hit.
That will not hit.
So me justifying this, I'm the DM, guys. Whatever. So Leon, as he is standing back up, is going to stand back up and make a attack against the dire wolf directly next to it. Give me a sec while I get frustrated with the interface here. And I know there's more things on top of it. It's fine. I've just opened up his character sheet. As a 19 hits. Almost killing off this dire wolf, but no, not yet.
He would likely smite.
Let me check.
Hey, Jordo.
He Sure. I was metagaming by holding onto that spell slot, but he smites, killing the wolf. Or the dire wolf. There is no need to roll for damage as it was on 1 HP. But that consumes Leon's last spell slot in the first engagement of the day.
I'm probably going to get another long rest. Well, that's probably metagaming as well. Sorry.
It's not metagaming. It's a misunderstanding of the situation. Okay, so on a 21, it is definitely able to ascertain your position, make its bite attack. It's a straight roll because it's pack tactics. However,
yeah, right. The advantage on smell checks.
Yep,
Who's
it's
it attacking?
smelling and hearing for you. It's not looking for you, so it has advantage.
Oh, sure.
It has advantage on pack tactics, disadvantage from the fog, straight attack roll, and 9 does not hit you.
Does not.
Which brings us to Direwolf 1 that is dead, and Callison, you're up.
Cool.
I think
I'm just going to move it.
I think the only spellcasty thing you can do while you're shapeshifted is willingly drop spells.
Yep, which I don't do. I know that there's stuff happening in here, so I just move up closer slowly until I bump into the wolf right in front of me. If that makes any sense.
So if you want to give me a
perception.
Yeah, perception. So you have advantage on this because you're trying to sniff out where the other wolves are. So if you want to give me, 1d20 plus 3 twice and pick the higher roll, you can pinpoint where the wolf is. So yeah, 11. It's not hard to work out where a wolf is. It's growling. It is a wolf. You can kind of smell out where it is. Anything under a 10, I'd probably say you're not 100% sure. But yeah,
okay.
You know that wolf is there. You can make the attack roll against that wolf, and you have pack tactics from being next to Garum.
So knowing that
Apparently not.
things attacked at me, I will.
These fucking rolls.
What's the... I'll disengage and I will move south. 5, 10, 15, 20.
It is far from your turn still.
It's not your turn, mate.
I hit my name.
Yeah, I said your name because that was a reference point of where you were in relation to Callison, whose turn it is. So Callison was trying to find the wolf that was attacking you and make an attack roll against it. So I said the wolf next to Garum. I wasn't saying it was your turn.
Yep, that's mine. My turn. Tried to smack him, did not.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then Shrock, you're up next.
Well, since I can't see anything, I'll move up between Callison and Gar. Do I need to roll for perception too?
You kind of get a sense of where it is. You can make an attack roll with disadvantage because you know that it's attacking Garum and you're within melee range, but again, disadvantage and melee
Okay.
attack.
I will try with the dagger.
Oh,
You hit. You don't kill, but you hit. But it is heavily wounded at this stage.
ever since Leon told him how to fucking use a spear, he's
Fair.
End turn.
Next up, the wolf is going to try and overcome the illusion and is, again, unsuccessful. The direwolf is going to try and overcome the illusion and is unsuccessful. And we move on to Jackal.
Jackal.
It might even be worth moving to the north to take out the direwolf.
Yeah.
There's this huge fog cloud in the way. That's why my rationale wasn't that I would know that the.
Well, the problem with the fog cloud is we don't know what is in the fog cloud or where.
Or what's
Yeah.
beyond it, or what's visible past the edges of it. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure you could get there.
logically, it wouldn't make sense for me to move because I don't even know that there's still something back there. Technically, just that there's noises. I'm gonna get in amongst it here.
I would probably say that you're 2 squares to your south to get amongst it, as opposed to where you are because of all the dead bodies and the bushes. The only way to get where you are is to consume your action in dashing, which means you lose your attack. And as a barbarian, if you don't attack, you lose your range.
Okay. Well, that was 25 feet of movement there.
But
So
there's
So
heavy terrain.
the
heavy don't. Oh, is it though? Because we didn't
Dead bodies count
classify
as
it as.
heavy.
Okay, so the bodies do,
Yeah.
but the trees don't.
the
trees
trees
do as
were, and the bushes, trees were heavy, difficult terrain, and the bodies are difficult terrain. So you probably come up alongside.
Well, that's where I was. That's where I've come from. So I end
Yep.
up next. Can I get in between there, in between Callison and?
I would
Shrock?
say the closest to there you could get is about here.
Yep. Okay. Comfortable with that. In which case, I'll rage and reckless attack this
Mhm.
boy here.
So the rage is still up as the last 3
Rage
minutes.
is still
and
up.
when you
Yep. And then
played it,
we'll be
so you don't need to
adding.
mark up another one.
Sure, we'll be adding +2 to my roll with
Mhm.
the scimitar
So you
attack.
can tick that little box that says +2, and you can make a disadvantaged attack against the wolf to your right, east.
Boom.
Oh dear. Okay. Are we
So
taking the
it's
value
not-
of the slashing at the bottom there? Well, so that's already done.
So the breakdown of these numbers is at the very top, it's the attack roll itself. The number on the left is the first roll you make. The number on your right is only used when you have advantage or disadvantage.
Mhm.
If you have advantage, you pick the higher of the two, disadvantage, the lower of the two. Then the breakdown of damage is rage is classified as, for some reason, rage damage, which isn't a damage type within D&D.
No, it's
And
because
then-
that's from the global attack modifier.
Got it.
Sorry,
The
global
box tip.
damage.
Yeah.
It's
And
separated
then if
out.
you hover over the damage below, you have the slashing damage.
Yep.
As Nick was mentioning, because of the way Roll20 works, it's just added to whatever damage type it's associated with, which is slashing. So it would have hit for 11 slashing damage if it had have hit, but it hasn't hit. So it's not rolled. It doesn't hit, right?
Right.
The reason I've got the game set up this way is if, like, you'd have to make 2 rolls if you had advantage, and then you'd have to make another roll if you hit and all of that. It's just much easier to see the outcome of all possibilities in the one roll and work out from there. It saves extraordinary amounts of time. We've had one combat encounter and we've been playing for 3 hours. So
Yeah.
slowing it down further than this doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. Understood.
So because you've got disadvantage because of the fog, that does not hit. Even if you
left to do
it was
to
a straight
enter.
roll. Yeah. So Garum, you're up next.
Yeah, I'll make a disengage and just go south. And unfortunately, that is my turn.
Onwards to this wolf that has fucking 3 targets around it. So I just want to work out what I'm attacking. So excuse this roll. So it's going to make an attack at Shrock with it should be with advantage, but because of the fog, straight roll of a 9, which I don't believe hits.
Even
Leon
a 14
is-
doesn't hit.
Fair. Leon is going to go up and go 10.
I'd assume he'd lay on
20.
hands himself for a bit.
He'd move up to support his allies and then lay on hands. How much lay on hands does he have for the day left? I'm assuming all of it. He's going to heal himself for 15.
What?
Oh, Jordan's typing.
Oh, with the bardic
It's too
inspiration.
late. So,
His move has been done.
yep, no problem. On to Dead Dire Wolf. Dead Wolf. Wolf 1 is going to go. Yep, okay. So he used 15 already. He was just too tight to slow while in the car. This wolf is going to make an attack due south towards Trock. Straight roll again. 17, does it hit?
Oof.
Yes.
Perfect. So you take 7 piercing damage as this wolf bites into your calf.
Why?
Can you give me a strength saving throw?
Oh no.
As it pulls on your calf, knocking you prone. As you're now prone on the ground with this wolf kind of bearing over you. Direwolf 1's dead. Onwards to Callison. What are you up to, Callison?
I just tried to attack. Oh, do I drop it? No, I can't.
Oh, I think it's time to drop it because we just need to chop the shit.
No, because then they'd jump on fucking Leon and both have attacks of advantage and probably just, grab him again.
There's
So
still
I'm
more
not
to
running
the
that.
north.
I'm just going to try and roll attack on the one to the left.
Mm-hmm. You do have advantage on this roll. The first one hits. Do you want to roll the second to see if you crit or not?
Ah,
Just push up, enter.
You do not, but please roll your 2d6 damage. I believe it's +3. Even if this wolf was fucking healthy, fucking 12 damage. You fucked that wolf up.
I'm the bigger wolf now. Okay. Yep. That's my turn. Oh, actually, I'm
Huh?
going to try and move upwards and up as far as, well, about there, into the fog, and kind of be the first one.
So
to
let's see.
get there.
The first bit of the movement, I'd say the first. How far are you moving? You're moving about 15 feet. I would say that consumes 30 feet of movement because of all the difficult terrain.
Yep.
But you are a dire wolf. You have another 10 feet of movement.
Yeah, I'm going slowly, kind of just feeling my way, so probably takes a little whip. Here is good.
Yeah, if that's as far as you are moving, that's your move. All right. Actually, 50 feet of movement on a dire wolf.
Yeah.
My bad.
I'm actually going to drop the fog as well. No.
Hmm.
Thank you.
The wolves are now aware that that is not, in fact, an elephant. It was missed. You kind of drop the fog, and there's still some mist on the ground. Doesn't seem to be coming from you. As we move on to Shrock.
Okay. Gonna use my dagger to. Oh no, I'm still prone, so.
Why don't we give you a spear?
You did.
Okay.
Feel free to continue using the dagger. It's your character.
Yeah. Just 15 feet of movement to get up, then use my dagger.
22 hits. Let's be frank. 22 hits. Fucking stab this wolf. Haven't killed it, but 7 damage from a dagger. That's a lot of damage to lay down into a wolf as you kind of just pierce into like one of its largest muscle groups up in its shoulder region. It starts kind of bleeding, and as you pull that dagger out, it just trickles down through its fur. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. I'm going to say that this wolf now understands what's up. 5, 10, 15, 20 as it runs down to Leon. It has no reason to suspect Callison is a unfriendly target. It does not get advantage on this attack, which is convenient. As it expected Callison to support it, but is unsure why it did not. Oh god, I pressed the. Oh god.
It controls
Put the
it.
card back there.
He ran into the cart. The cart.
Jumping in the cart to
The
go
cart
away.
took 1d6 blunt damage.
So it unexpectedly is going to provoke an opportunity of attack from you, Callison, if you want to take it.
Attack of. Oh, I see, because it's running past. Well, sure.
Man, if
It
it fails
doesn't
its
know you're
strength
not
check-
friendly. All it's seen to this point is fog and the screaming of wolves.
Well, I sure take a swipe at it as it goes past.
Does he get advantage from pack tactics?
Technically, yes, because Leon is within 5 feet of him.
Oh, makes it crit, makes it crit. I said make it.
Nearly. Yeah, so close.
You know the damage profile, 2d6 plus 3? It was not prepared for a fucking friendly, big air quotes here, direwolf to kind of take that bite at it. As you just kind of take that hard swipe as it runs past, and it just kind of looks back at you like, the fuck? It is, however, going to attack Leon.
It has to make a DC 11 strength save or be knocked
Oh,
prone.
it sure does. That is true. It makes it. So it's going to take the attack at Leon with advantage.
7
A
damage.
22 does hit. Damaging Leon substantially, but you know, he did just expend all 15 points of Leon hands because I got pressured into it. I did get a call to cunt for doing such. I don't know, guys.
You're just
I'm
trying
just
to
the
do the right
DM.
thing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not responsible for what happens. I just tell you what happens. Fucking shoot in the messenger here. All right. As we move on to Jackal. Jackal, how do you want to proceed?
Jackal.
Jackal.
Been itching to use my thrum, but it's probably not wise to shoot when visibility isn't great amongst all these trees, right? So
Visibility now is fine. You can see things. It's hard to move through as like this shrubbery and these trees are like limiting you up to about waist height. You have perfect visibility on your targets.
okay,
Your
so
movement is
ranged
slow.
attacks wouldn't be inhibited or at all, or
Because you're within 5 feet, however, ranged attacks are inhibited. If you had not moved forward within melee range, it would not have been.
Sure. Okay. So, quick explanation, just as a refresher for me, gents. Sorry. The functionality of my rage now, I've used it twice. Right. Forget reckless attack for the moment. I've used it twice.
You've
Therefore,
only
I have.
used it once. So
Oh,
rage
sorry.
lasts for a
Yep.
minute.
Okay.
Each round of combat is 6 seconds. So
you-
one rage lasts 10 rounds of combat.
Okay. All right. Cool. Understood. In which case, I'm going to roll with the punches then. Attack with rage that's still presumably going, and reckless attack as well. And is there no disadvantage given that the fog is gone, or what was the disadvantage previous turn for me?
The disadvantage was because of the fog. If you're making a melee attack, it's just a straight roll. If you do a reckless attack, you do get the advantage and get to roll 2d6, 2d20 and pick the higher of the two.
I think absolutely do that.
Right.
Might even time to pop the frenzy and hit him twice. Oh no! You do 1d. Just make your attack. The advantage.
If you literally just clicked on the item in your character sheet, it would automatically roll 2 attack rolls.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So I didn't need to do that
This is
manually.
just learning the tools.
Yeah.
15 hits. If it hadn't have, I would have taken the 16 plus 3 anyway. Plus 5, sorry. The 16 plus 5. So you hit whichever you are targeting. Are you targeting the direwolf or the wolf?
I'm targeting the direwolf.
Okay. So you deal 6 damage to that direwolf with that attack.
Are you going to pop the frenzy and hit him again?
Yes.
Oh,
Cool. So the frenzy will last for the duration of your rage as well, and that means that every turn you can then consume your bonus action to make another attack roll. So if you click that scimitar button again, it will make another attack as your bonus action. 15 hits, dealing an additional 9 damage. This wolf, this dire wolf, is starting to look pretty fucking beat up. Like it is just gushing as it takes these 2 big meaty strikes against it, and it's just got like blood starting to pour out of it. And you can kind of see like the muscle tissue, especially around the waist, tear apart. I think that brings us to the end of your turn.
Get eviscerated dog. Yes, end turn.
Fucking Saxon dogs.
Mhm.
Onwards to Garum. How are we going?
we are
Garum's-
going
Oh,
12 points of force damage into the direwolf.
how does that work now? Is that one single cast, or have you casted that thrice?
I'm assuming we're talking about the direwolf that is hostile and not John.
Oh, I didn't realize you'd killed it.
No, he just killed it then because you
Yeah.
It had exactly 12 hit points when you cast Magic Missile.
average.
Wow, nice.
Feels bad.
That's the second time we've hit the exact number of hit points a direwolf has had in this combat against 3 direwolves and some wolves.
Shame we weren't getting these rolls when Jordo was actually playing.
It's okay. I'm playing Jordo better than Jordo could. I haven't died once with Jordo. Just calling that out.
Wow.
Anything else you would like to do, Garen?
No, that's me done, but I will just quickly say, so the spell I cast, Dino,
3 glowing darts. Yes.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
and
Cool.
the way it works is when you
Is that 3 different rolls? Is it or?
they don't miss and there's no save. They just do damage. The
Whoa.
downside is that I have to be able to see the target, and ultimately they don't do a huge amount of damage.
Yep. Okay.
That is a swing and a miss from Jordo. This other wolf that is sitting there is going to fitty. So let me hit it with a fitty roll. It's going to take an attack at Shrock.
How does it hit Shrock? Oh, that one. Okay, my bad. I didn't realize that one was alive.
21 for 5 points of damage.
Oh no, Shrock.
Oh no.
Shrock's getting chewed out. Fuck.
Yep. Onwards to Callison. How would you like to proceed, Callison?
Just try and swipe at the closest.
Get him by the scruff of the neck, mate.
That hits. Do you want to see if you roll a crit on the advantage?
Nope.
You don't. Please roll 2d6 damage plus 3. Fuck, that wolf is looking pretty fucking beat up. Not dead, but he is so close to dead. It is looking fucking beat. Fucking blood pouring down it. It's trying to stand up properly, but like 2 of its 3 legs aren't keeping it up. It is on the absolute precipice
What?
of death as we move over to Shrock.
2 of its 3 legs?
Hind legs.
We took one out
Back legs.
with the cart on the way in.
You know, I have said something as a DM, I guess that means that it's law. This dog, for whatever reason, only had 3 legs, and one of the 3 legs was its penis. It is standing on its hind legs. Of those 3 legs, its left leg was destroyed, and it's currently resting on its right leg and its penis. Shrock, how would you like to proceed?
It must be pretty hard to fucking keep it weight balanced. It's not falling over.
Just gonna disengage and run back.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you were gonna give it the stab. Stab it in its penis. Then it can't walk anywhere.
Sure, why not?
Oh.
Huh.
Scott,
So,
please
to be
describe
clear,
its mangled penis.
This is the wolf that is standing on its penis. This is the wolf Shrock attacks.
Yep.
You can still stab it in the penis.
Regardless. Its penis, where it, for some reason, stores its heart, is separated from the rest of its body.
That's where I keep mine.
Oh god.
Shrock, you remove its heart and therefore its penis from the rest of its being. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, that's it.
The penis on one-legged dog is then going to take its attack, and it is going to attack Leon.
Huh.
Leon likes getting
That's a
attacked.
surprise.
Jordo.
As everyone currently watching the game
Don't worry, I'll be
agrees
next
that
to you.
was a nat 20, right?
Yeah.
Double sixes, right?
Oh no,
As
Leon.
unfortunately, the 2-legged dog is unable to hit Leon. Onwards to Jackal. There is 1 wolf remaining, and a dire wolf that you're fairly sure is a friend.
The raged, frenzied, reckless attacking barbarian has 1 target. Good night.
That has a penis worth of health.
And it's old mate Tripod who's got a hard on for Jordo, so he's going to cop it.
No. It's a bipod. It lost 1 of its legs already. I would say it's lost 1 of its legs, but it don't have no legs left. As it just fucking comes in and you are aware of what a God, I've actually forgotten the correct word here.
An ejaculating penis.
No. It's not a vasectomy, it's the other thing that medieval people do to penises.
Castration?
Castration. Yeah. So you are aware of how that's meant to be carried out, but you forgot the distance from the tip compared to the base. You went for the base. As it and its last standing leg fails from underneath it. The wolf hits the ground. As the party stands, the only wolf/dire wolf that remains is Kellison. Your mule is dead.
I quickly shapeshift back into my other form just in case there's any
More castration.
more. Yeah. I
Dead
don't-
for his wolf penis. Kellison shapeshifts back.
Well,
Thanks.
meat's back on the menu, boys.
Mm.
What meat?
So are Shrock and Leon still quite injured?
Very much.
Right now, both Leon and Shrock are heavily injured, bleeding,
I'll ask them
in need
both.
of rest.
Alright, I'll move up and I'll ask them both to come stand next to me, and then I will touch both of them and cast Cure Wounds on both.
Does Leon get close to you? Now I'm trying to role play as Jordan.
So, you each heal 7 points. And that was twin spells, so I'm out of sorcery points. I'm out of level 1 spells.
Level 3, what's your current max repository of sorcery points?
3, but I've got the Bloodwell vial that I can use when I restore hit points.
Yep. I believe that is the perfect recap that we need to start the next session with. Thank you
Okay.
very much, Carlson.
We're going to call this one here?
So I would kind of ask how the party would want to proceed at this stage. We have
I'd want to
cleared
go
out.
check out all the corpses. AKA the loot.
Well, loot.
The corpses to the north. The reason the wolves are here.
So within the capacity of the, what is this? This is 6 NPCs. So I would say that is the coinage found within them. Most of them are, relatively speaking, using off-the-shelf armor. It is, God, I forget the armor grades. The one below chainmail. They're wearing medium armor. Nothing spectacular. Holding spears and shields. Again, nothing spectacular.
Sure.
They have some gold and silver pieces amongst them. The wolves themselves are made of meat.
The people.
And
near.
otherwise hold nothing of value on them.
All right.
The grounds around you and everything around you, you didn't notice it previously because you had kind of suspected that it was because of the fog cloud itself, but there is a mist kind of gathering along the floor of this area that you are within, and it feels like a morning dew in that sense, where there's just like that thick layer of fog just on ground level. But as you kind of walk through it, you can kind of see that it's quite thick in comparison, that it kind of moves around your feet.
Listen, I thought you got rid of the fog. What is this?
This is not my doing.
It seems about 13 hours too soon. Is it coming from anywhere in particular, or is it just
It is
accumulating?
everywhere. It is everywhere around you. Every inch of ground that you guys are walking through, you realize that this fog has kind of slowly been building, and similar to what within the fog cloud you had experienced earlier, it is starting to become harder and harder to see your feet beneath you.
Was it there while we were fighting the wolves? Or has it only started like at the end of that fight?
So the fight with the wolves has so far, I think, lasted about a minute or two. It's not something that you have paid particular attention to as you came in to this region.
Jordan.
Um, good night, Jordo. You hadn't really paid it much attention because, like, you've been in a cart up until now, and then when you got out of the cart, like, it was time for fight. Things die now, but as you're taking the time to rifle through the remains of the NPCs around you, you kind of realize that this fog is actually quite heavy amongst your
Right.
feet.
Okay. Well, can't do much about fog. In the meantime, I think I've found some shallow graves up here. Is that what they are?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say shallow as such. I would say that they are definitely graves that along the roadside, and something that hadn't been much to pay attention to up until now, um, were just there along the roadside that you were transversing across. And had this been a normal process of slowly progressing down the road, you probably may have paid it more attention, but because you're racing to get past these wolves, it is something that was largely ignored before now.
Right.
The graves themselves look like not necessarily they are ancient, but definitely not recent. The grass has not started to grow on top of the grave site itself, but the dirt also looks like it's had enough time to dry out.
Right.
So it has been at least a week, but probably not more than a year since these graves were dug.
Okay. Are there any carvings on the tombstones?
The tombstones read out, um, here lies. And then within that space, you have a headstone that reads James, Bob, and Greg.
James, Bob, Greg. Right. Well, that's not interesting, so I move away. Watch it somehow be deeply important and interesting later.
Would the paladin, I mean Greg, yeah, would the paladin cast his fucking sense undead?
He would not,
Okay.
because as the DM playing the paladin, he is aware that dirt is a surface that would not be pierced by.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Would he
undead.
would he use it on these corpses? I think he would. He
Mhm.
uses it on everything that
Chop. He burns through one of his features to learn that the corpses are not undead, but are in fact dead.
Huh. Just normal
Wow.
dead. How boring.
Wow. All right. Well, I think
Yeah.
we should probably like shuffle off, like drag the bodies off the road into a pile,
Mhm.
fuck off a little bit down the road further, set up camp, and have a rest. Because I don't think having a rest directly next to all of this free meat is a particularly
Yeah, I'm
good
more worried about the fog, like how quickly is it building up. I feel like we
So,
probably have more
yes,
discussion before having a long rest.
definitely worthwhile concern. It's definitely late enough in the day that You're unsure of how long it will take to get through to your destination, but a long rest is definitely on the menu. Having lost now your transportation, the party now needs to move on foot, unless there is another method to which they can obtain transportation.
So, if I turn myself into a warhorse,
Mm-hmm.
how would that work if if the paladin was to use that as a
Mount?
yeah?
Sure. You act on your own turn, he acts on his own.
Huh. That's interesting. Cool.
From a technicality point, the correct way to play it out is for the paladin to hold his action till he's within melee range of whatever it is he's going to fuck up, and you control the movement and therefore the trigger event for the attack.
Cool. All right, I'll play with that later. I don't feel like there's much point explaining it now and then explaining it again when Jordan's back.
And I believe right now your wild shape can last up to an hour, but I don't know if Moon Druid technically overrides that. As I kind of talk and stall, I am literally reading through that same text to see if it does or not.
I'm so bummed there's a time limit on it.
I knew there was a time limit. I was asking whether Moon Druid extended that time limit of half your druid level rounded down or not. It does not. However, one thing to note is when you do transform, you do so as a bonus action, so you can use your action in the same turn, and you gain 1d8 hit points
Oh,
per spell slot level if you choose. So when you transform, you can expend a spell slot to whatever spell level you want and gain that as temporary hit points, in addition to the hit point pool of the thing that you've transformed into.
Oh, okay.
holy
So,
shit.
okay.
That is really strong.
Yeah, Moon Druids are great.
Wow.
It's why I kind of suggested it and why I gave some extra documentation on the side to John on like what are all the shapes that are technically legal for a Moon Druid. When we're talking about CR1, I don't really care about whether you've seen it before. I think probably about CR4 is when I'm kind of like, have you seen this before or not?
Oh, okay. I was already questioning it. Like
Yeah.
giant octopuses, probably haven't seen.
I don't think we'll get to the appropriate level, but you know what he has seen that is on the list? Air Elemental.
Oh yeah, true.
An
That's-
elemental is an elemental. You know this, Nick. You can literally walk like 15 feet and pick up the monster manual.
Yeah.
You fucking dickhead.
Wild shape lets them turn into elementals.
Moon
doesn't.
druids get the ability to wild shape into elementals.
There is something that gives druids the ability to shift into elementals, but wild shape does not give him that. There is the elemental form coming from the circle of the moon at 10th level, but that is separate to a druid's ability to move into a wild shape. You fucking simpleton.
Wow.
Could you imagine getting that wrong?
Nope.
I mean, personally, I got to reference every book in existence while I made that commentary, forgetting that moon druids could even move into an elemental shape, but still, my main commentary stands for no particular reason.
Yeah, I feel like that was particularly unnecessary, but sure.
I concur. It was completely and utterly unnecessary.
That is the closest thing you will ever give to an apology, and I'll take it.
I continue to be the DM. I don't think an apology is necessary at any point.
What are you, the American president?
Wow. Although I would question whether it is ever worthwhile transforming into a CR3 beast when you have access to elemental forms. Like, why is a moon druid even considering it? But a moon druid is the only thing that can transform into anything above a CR2. Like, you know, Nick?
I don't know. I'd have
Perfect.
to walk 15 feet to find out.
And drown 2 creatures at the same time. Huh. Water elementals seem strong.
The biggest thing here is not that I've hurt Nick's feelings, because Nick doesn't have feelings to hurt. The thing that I'm really concerned about in this conversation is whether Nick has the same concern I have in whether it is 15 feet or not from his desk to his bookshelf.
Where are we at, gents? Are we continuing or are we breaking? Because I need to take a shit.
Oh,
I would say that we're probably breaking at this point, yeah.
Okay.
now's a good time for it. All right.
What's the situation? Are you gents hanging around and play games later? Have you got plans? What's the go? Just kicking it for tonight.
I don't have any plans